Well, howdy do, everybody. It is Tuesday night, prime time, 8. What am I saying? It's 8 p.m. somewhere, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And it is The Professionals, your only channel you need to watch on a Tuesday night at 7. We rotate this show between the bros, and tonight it is Andy's night to host the show. Hello, everybody. Let's say hi to some people in the house. Randy Howell up first and foremost. What is up, Randy? Chris Giuliano, Joe Bernardo. Whoa, look at that. Billy Tucci, Marcus Kellegrew. People joining in. Quoth the Raven. Hello. Bear. Hey, guys, what the F? We watched an episode of Where the Brady Bunch 2023. You know it. It's the new Brady Bunch. It is 2023. And in this year, we could have a family that looks just like that. All masculine dudes. What is up? The Dennis and Andy show. That is my partner in crime, Dennis. All right, Dan Genovese, Leg Kick, Smokey Concat. Beautiful. You guys are here. We're here. And we're, it's not October yet. I know there's a few more days, but this is my time. And I won't be hosting again until after Halloween, so I'm bringing it. What scares the bros? I can admit there are things now that still scare me. My own shadow, sometimes. That's true. But as a kid, there were things, and some of that stuff still hangs around. So we're gonna have a fun little talk about that, and other things as well. So we'll bring them on. I don't know if anything scares this guy. I'm sure when he was a kid, something had to. Now he is the dude doing the scaring. It is Graham Nolen. Boo!
What's up, people?
What is up? Joe Bernardo's already busting my balls. How about those Cowboys? Hey, man. There's only been one team that has gone undefeated, and that was way back in 1972. And our bro that's a fan of that team is not even at his desk, so I'll bring him up after I bring up the guy that was around for the very first football game ever. He was the water boy for it, and they didn't wear pads or anything back then. Art to Bear.
We are here, and Andy's queer.
Hey. Maybe.
I mean,
one time in college.
I mean, queer.
By queer, you mean different, right?
Yeah, just different, just odd, peculiar.
Just odd.
Peculiar.
Well, I mean, Art, you're very gay, and by gay I mean happy.
I also smoked the fags.
The Flintstones had a gay old time. Remember?
They did have a gay old time, and you know what? We're gonna have a damn gay old time here on the Professionals. So, who's next? Who's up next?
Well, I'll bring up an empty chair. It's Billy Tucci, who is
Jersey.
We were talking before the show. Billy's a Miami fan. Of course, Graham's Buffalo. Those guys meet up this weekend to face each other in Buffalo. One will walk out a winner. And from Billy not being here, it looks like he doesn't have that much faith in Miami.
I think that Billy's going to have to buy me
that's what that means. Yeah.
He's going to have to buy you what?
Some chicken wings.
Do you have a little
Bill's defense run over that C grade level quarterback Tua?
Oh damn!
He is not a quarterback, people.
You got to save those shots for when Billy's here and can hear him, man. Come on now.
Yeah.
Don't waste all that good ammo.
That's right.
I tell you, look at that. Mark's birthday's the day after my wedding anniversary. His birthday's October 29th. Well, there you go.
Oh, here comes Billy. Look at him pulling his pants up. Billy's pulling his pants up.
Look at that. He's got the jacket, no less.
Look at that. The silk jacket. What is it, 1982?
Yeah.
I think it's a medium.
Looks like
I don't
Billy's
think
been,
it buttons.
looks like Billy's been smoking the fags.
It's pretty tight when you snap that top one and it's pulling across like that.
Is Billy's face getting redder as he snaps it up?
Oh, look, I can't pop the belly one, though. That's good, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
It's the chest. Yeah, the
I was looking for
incredible
this.
Billy Tucci.
I put on a jersey, and then I'm like, no, I got to find that jacket. Where's that old starter jacket?
Oh
Is that a
no,
starter
I don't
jacket?
even.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
man.
hysterical.
How old is that thing?
It's got to
This
be
has
the
got to
80s.
be from '94.
Oh,
Oh my
Oh wow.
gosh.
Look at that.
Yeah, I got a
Before the
pretty hefty.
75th season, so maybe it's 94, 93.
I got a Yankees
Oh,
jacket.
you know what?
back
This
in the
is
90s.
probably, in all honesty, I bet you this is from like '87.
That sounds more accurate.
Yeah, I don't think they had these in that. I think it's from 1987.
Yeah. Just looking at that
Wow.
material.
I know.
I know. I've got a Cowboys jacket, but it's a really heavy winter jacket, and there's no need to wear it down here, so it just hangs in the closet. So,
I heard about
Oh,
that.
wow.
About the Cowboys like to be in the closet.
oh damn, boy, they lose. 2-1 is not a bad record for 3 weeks in. Just saying.
Nah, it's a
Come
great-
on now.
good white record.
Yeah, come on now.
Come on.
That's what the Bills are, right? Bills are 2-1,
Yeah.
and hopefully next week they'll be 3-1. Is that what I'm
3-1
hearing?
next week?
4-0. Dolphins, freaking Bills. Let's go,
Yeah.
Kings.
The Dolphins are going to be meeting a real defense this week, next week.
Well, we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, we'll see. Remember, Billy,
Did
it's
you
just
see-
a game.
It's just a
Just
Did
game.
you see what
guys.
Namath had to say about the Jets?
What's that?
Did you see what Joe Namath had to say about the Jets?
No.
What did he say?
Oh, he said just trash it all and start over.
Yeah, they should definitely. They definitely should do another rebuild.
He went on this big tweet rant, X rant, whatever. And I was just reading them, and yeah, like the last one was like just trash it all and start over. And I didn't watch any of that game either, but I guess there were just some plays in it where what's that quarterback name? That young kid, is it
Wilson,
Travis
hot mom.
something?
Wilson,
What?
Zach Wilson with his hot mom.
Zach Wilson, yeah, Zach, that's it. He said I guess there were some plays where Zach Wilson just basically just took a knee almost,
Wow.
and it was like, what are you doing? Play the game, So yeah, Joe Namath very upset.
Billy,
I
you're
saw,
right.
I saw a picture of Joe Namath the other day. I didn't recognize him. That dude
Really?
got old. Like when you don't see people in the public eye for a long time, and then you see him, and you're like, "Oh shit, that's Joe Namath."
My favorite Joe Namath is when he was drunk on the sidelines and the
Dude.
girl was interviewing him, and he keeps looking at her and he goes, "I want to kiss you."
I want to kiss you. I want to kiss you.
That was the best.
He'd be
Hey,
in jail
Billy,
right
did you
now.
see- Billy, did you see when they had the old timers game at Yankee Stadium? And they honored
yeah.
98 Yankees, which is the winningest team in baseball ever.
Yeah.
122 games they won that season,
Right.
including the World Series.
Right.
And David Wells comes back, right? And David Wells takes shit from nobody. And Wells starts ragging on the current Yankees. He says that the problem with baseball players today is they're too coddled. If you're playing like, and he named names, he goes, Giancarlo Stanton and LeMahieu, you're back in the minors.
Oh,
That's what he said. You should be back. You should be back in AAA for that kind of performance when you're getting paid that kind of money. Oh my
nice.
God. He was on fire. It was awesome.
And then he said something about Trump too, though, right? Or about Biden or something.
That I didn't hear.
Or the vax. He said something like he's a real Trump guy too.
Oh, cool.
What are you talking about now?
I saw the
David
actual when they had it, when they were all coming out, and then remember Mickey Rivers?
Yeah.
So they're all walking out until Mickey Rivers, because they also honored. Whitey Ford's widow was there. Thurman Munson's widow was there.
Well, yeah, it's the old timers game. So they honor
And
everybody. Yeah.
everyone
Oh,
come
yeah.
walking out, and then it said Mickey Rivers. Mickey Rivers charging out. He's like 71 years old or something, just like a beast.
Yeah.
You guys hear about Biden's big faux pas yesterday?
Oh, which one?
With
is it?
LL Cool J or
Yes.
L Cool J L?
That boy, man's arms are
Man.
better than mine. He called LL Cool J a boy.
Yeah.
Boy,
And
he's
messed
not
up his
racist.
name.
Well, did you see when he was with Netanyahu and he did the sign of the cross?
No, oh my God.
No.
Hi, Christina Lynn.
Oh my God.
Oh, look at that. Dan met a fan in Memphis.
No, she was
Hello.
really cool. She says she's a professional proofreader. So
She is. I use her.
Yeah,
that's
she
what
is.
she had said. So when
Yeah, Christina's
the time
great.
comes, yeah,
Well, if you guys
She
need
is.
proofreading, talk to Christina.
I
There
definitely
you go.
Yeah. She was very.
That's an
Dan,
excellent
welcome.
idea. Even when it's all said and done, like for those proofs, the proofing stage. Hey, Lope.
Aaron, look at that.
My
I'm
man,
here.
we're all here.
Better late than never.
Yeah.
He's the man of the people.
You're not late. We're just talking about Nebraska, how, maybe 22, 23 isn't the year for Nebraska football, but maybe I think 2024, 25 will be the year for Nebraska football.
What was that phrase you used, Billy? Gay college? Was that?
Why are you guys talking sports, man?
Dude, oh my God.
I think we always say there's always next year. Wait,
That's what we
We
say.
were
in
just
Buffalo.
telling. Well, hold on a
Never,
second.
man.
I don't follow
Never.
college. What is Nebraska's record right now?
they're 2-2. So
Wait,
Oh,
is that an RPM speed? We're talking
Yeah.
about records. I want to put them on, 33s.
Turntables.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
5.
Yeah.
Dan
Put it
wants
on
to do
pause.
some scratching.
Let's not get derailed so fast. Let's make one round at least on what we're talking about. Then we can get derailed
Too late.
because it's going to happen.
We're the bros, damn it.
Yeah.
What
What are we
it's
talking
gonna
about
happen.
tonight? What do we? But by the way, I know, but this is called good radio. So what are we talking about tonight?
Yeah, boys. What are
Well-
we talking about tonight?
Well, Dan, Marcus says Fraga men like sports.
That's
all
right.
caps.
But legends make their own stories. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, there you go. We're
But
talking
They
about
do it
because
in the dugout.
Halloween is coming up, and I won't be hosting it again until after Halloween's over. So I wanted to sneak it in before it happens. I was hoping it'd at least be October, but I was just thinking things that scared us as kids might still have a fear of today, as adults. Whether it's claustrophobia, small spaces and stuff, heights, whatever, or just the irrational stuff when you were kids, which I'm sure we all have had. Except for Graham. I don't think Graham was ever scared of anything. So,
I think the word fear is afraid of
I
Graham.
had some stuff, but there's nothing that I think carried over though that I can think of. Like
Is it
I was
scared?
bit by dogs when I was young, so I had a fear of big dogs, but I have no fear of big dogs now.
Is it
Right.
is it like the traditional like monster under my bed thing, or can it be something like
it's anything.
going on an airplane?
Yeah,
or-
it could be
Okay,
be
cool.
going on a plane. I mean,
Right.
we can do the round robin, but just as an example, because you brought up plane, I don't have a fear that stops me from flying, but I will say the part of airplanes, flights, whatever, I really don't like. And like I said, I don't know if I'd call it a fear, but you could say there's a little anxiety is I hate takeoff. I just can't stand it.
That's my favorite part, man. Have you ever flown out of John Wayne Airport?
Yeah,
Holy shit,
dude.
Yeah.
It's vertical.
Yeah, in
Go
Burbank?
straight out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that feeling
I don't like.
Yeah, no.
I get anxiety around TSA.
when they
that-
fill
Oh,
you
that's
up.
the only time I get groped. So I like
Nah,
TSA.
man, I'm always like when they got the little smelly machine, the thing where
like
they go,
that
you go like
smells
this
like
and it
weed.
smells you. Exactly. And or the dogs, I'm like,
The dogs. What airports are you going to? Like third world
They
countries?
had here at ATL. I went to Memphis this weekend. ATL, you have to walk, and they have these fans blowing, and the dog like paces by you, and I'm like, good thing they're looking for like BOMB material and not the shrubberies I just had before I got there.
Wow. They have
Jesus.
dogs now. They have dogs at
Yeah.
TSA.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's freaking
That's it.
nuts.
Art hasn't flown since, I don't know, the Concorde went away 20
Art
years
doesn't
ago.
have to fly.
whatever
He's
it
in
was.
Texas now. He's like, I don't have to go anywhere. This is
True.
Yeah, I live in the free state of Texas. I'll tell you, I took my family out. We had a trip planned. It was 2 days after 9/11, and I was in the airport, and holy shit, man, there were armed guards in the airport. They were pulling people out of lines and shit, and I was like,
That's
I
right.
will not be
That's right.
fearful. I will not let those terrorists win. And we did it, man. And I'll tell you, man, I have never been so protective of my family my entire life. I was sizing everybody up.
Yeah.
I was like,
when we were in the heart of the pandemic, our esteemed governor here in New York decided to call out the National Guard and station them in airports. And when people would come off the plane, they'd have clipboards and they'd want you to register.
What?
whether you had vaccinations and where you have just been and all this.
Pape us,
Whoa.
pape us, gentlemen.
And yeah,
Exactly.
right. So I'm sitting there, I'm waiting for my daughter and her fiance at the time, her husband now, to get off the plane. And I'm sitting there watching these guys in uniforms, going up to people, sir, could you fill this out, please? Over here, and they bring you over to the table. And I'm just getting pissed, because I'm seeing this abuse of power. And so I go up to the captain. I saw his bars, and I said, excuse me, sir, I know you're under a lot of pressure here, but you realize, because he's National Guard. I said, you realize you have no authority over a civilian population, right? They could just say fuck you and walk off. You have no authority, right? And he's like, he looks at me and he goes, yeah, I know.
It's for show.
But
It's
then-
all
Yeah,
for
But,
show.
you know what? But no, it's for fear.
Yeah.
They're fully decked out, and it's intimidation.
Now, hold on,
And
Graham.
most people don't understand the hierarchy of things.
I think what
And they're
really
right.
happened. I think
Right.
what really happened is he said, "Yeah, I know, sir," because he was talking to you.
See that just happened.
So
I
you
felt that.
intimidated the intimidators, Graham.
That's right.
That's right, Aaron.
Mhm.
That's right, Aaron, and I'll intimidate you as well.
Yeah.
Good thing he
Don't
was.
get on my bad
Good
side.
thing the Coast Guard guy was wearing his brown pants that day.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
The Coast Guard guy.
How did it become the Coast Guard all of a sudden?
Yeah, no, it's
They had
the Reserve, Coast Guard. They're all. I'm so sorry to whoever's in the Coast Guard. I didn't mean that.
they had
But
them
I
all
tell you,
out
when
there.
I was on that plane with my family, I was like, "Fuck that box cutter shit." Somebody comes out and intimidates me, because remember they were saying like they intimidated people with the box cutter. When they brought the planes down, I go, "Fuck that."
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
gonna
I'll
take-
be putting my
Yeah.
sleeves
My mother-
up like
my-
this. Let's go, bro.
Yeah,
my
let's
mother
go.
was like,
Well,
my
now
mother
that
was,
we know,
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
my,
Never
di-
happened.
my dick kick is mad fast. Is all I'm telling you. I don't
my
care.
mother,
if you got,
my
You're
mother-
care if you have a-
wait.
my dick kick.
but the problem
dick
is, Dan, that you're
kick
so tall,
that
you stand up
fast.
in your seat to do it, and you smack the luggage.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
and
yeah.
then you knock
And then
yourself
Well,
out.
I got that stealthy side from the seat dick kick
Yeah.
too. You just got to watch out.
You got to have the aisle seat, otherwise you're
That's
useless.
right.
That's
You
right.
can do the dick punch too, because
There's-
it's right
yeah.
there.
Yeah. I was teaching my daughter about basic self-defense, because there's like a little boy that's messing with her at her school. Obviously it's this stupid 11-year-old boy stuff. No, she said he keeps smacking her on the shoulders, and I said, don't let him do it, block it. And she's like, he's so fast. I said, watch his shoulders, don't watch his hands, don't watch his eyes. You can't throw a punch without moving your shoulder first. I said, watch his shoulders. So anyhow.
And then
if
punch him
that
in
was
the
my
nuts.
kid, I
And
would
then-
when he sits down, if he's in the class, to
Yeah.
sit down. When he's sitting down, you walk right up to him with the biggest book and you smash him right in the face with it.
Can I tell you guys?
100%.
How
Punch his fucking nose in front of everybody.
how
Just walk
disturbed
right up. Wham!
It's a history lesson for you.
Yep.
I'm
That's right.
disturbed. I'm disturbed by my kids, but I'm very certain that they're my kids, because the other day
They look like you.
Now Lilybell was talking about she wanted these SpongeBob popsicles, which are hard to find. They're kind of like the ones we had as kids with the gumball eyes, And I said, yeah, he doesn't, but he did. I don't know why they call them SpongeBob SquarePants. These popsicles don't even have pants. And then Lilybell said something about, his little ice wiener hanging out, right?
Oh Lord.
Yeah, no, and then I go, what would you call that? Like a coxicle? And then
Oh, nice.
no, and then Harrison out of nowhere peeks his head around the corner, says, "You call it a childo?"
Oh,
He's
Dude, I
9.
can tell you. You know how we know they're your kids? Because if I have a conversation with Lilybell or Harrison for
They're
10 minutes, I'm like, yep, those are Dan's kids.
yeah, they swear like sailors, my kids.
Oh my gosh.
Dan, here, all you have to do is show Lilybell this for school.
Oh,
That's it. Just show them that. Show her that.
Oh, but you know
Walk
how
right up
Billy,
to 'em.
you know how Billy was talking about just slam a book, on their head.
Yeah.
I remember this was like middle school, and I have this friend. I'm still friends with him. Just a sweetheart of a guy. Will not defend himself. Just a sweet guy, right? And so this girl, what was her name? Madeline or something like that. This big, just bitchy, dykey chick. And she used to just harass him constantly. She sat right behind us, right? And I just look over at him because he's sitting next to me, and I just see him just crumble, right? He couldn't defend himself. He wasn't that kind of guy. So finally, I was fed up with Marilyn. Marilyn was her name. And so I picked up one of those chairs. You know, it's like school chairs are metal framed with wooden slats.
Yeah.
And I picked up my chair, and because she's sitting down right behind me, and I just smacked her right upside the head with the chair and knocked her on her ass. And that was the best suspension and days off of school I ever spent, because I didn't regret it one single day.
Lord.
That girl was a freaking pest, man. She dragged him into the bathroom, the girls' bathroom once, and put makeup on him and shit. She was that kind of girl. Yeah. Horrible person.
She was that kind of girl.
I was realizing something right now. Just the length of your hair and your beard, and well, you're much more svelte than the person I'm about to mention. But if you were to cosplay at one of these conventions as George Lucas, I do believe you could pull it off.
You know, you've been saying this since the old Extreme Studios days, and I don't see it.
I don't see it either, to be honest.
I'm gonna pull it up. I'm doing it right now.
I thought you were going with the fact that his hair silhouette up top is the same as his goatee, so on a silhouette of his head, you could just turn it and not really see the difference.
Nah, he has beautiful
You can
hair.
reverse it. Yeah,
He has beautiful hair.
Lucas has got that goiter.
Well, that's why I said. That's why I said Art's much more fit. That's why.
But you've been saying this for 30 years, Dan.
No, I'm not.
You said this.
If any of us had that huge George Lucas under our chin, we'd all be George Lucas.
Here,
they just, oh my God, you look just like George Lucas.
Share my screen.
I want George Lucas.
What is up with that? What is that?
It's a goiter.
I don't know. It's something he has enough money he could get taken care of.
Lucas Nobata. See, look
Can
at
he
that.
get I mean, chicks get liposuction in their guts. He can't get liposuction in.
You're a much sexier version, Art. But I'm just saying, you can pull it off.
Well, thank
There
you.
you go.
Yeah, he's an attractive
man is calling it a waddle.
Wait, pull that back up.
Oh, I lost it. Hold on.
Oh, sure. There was a caricature there, which was hysterical.
I saw that. I was going to say, are you saying Art looks like that caricature? That's wrong.
Let me pull. Which one? Because there's a couple.
This is my caricature right here.
It was like a 3/4 view.
New Yorker.
Art, is that from your trading card?
No, I did some like when I was doing Hollywood, like you know how you have like resumes. I had that.
There it is.
It's the one to the left.
The second one, the second row down in the middle.
Oh,
with
this
the forehead all the way down.
Yeah.
Look at the goiter.
Look at that hair.
See, look at here we go. There's some RT Bear right there. Look at that.
Oh, come on.
I can almost see that.
I think RT Bear's our resident silver fox. Hello.
Absolutely. I'm not
thank
trying to
you.
insult him. RT Bear
Art's got more chin than George Lucas does.
Yeah.
correct.
That's why George has a beard. If he didn't have a beard, it would just all flow down into his chest.
Make his head look that long.
And
Randy,
he'd go,
we're echoing. Is anyone echoing?
No. Jabba Nobata.
Nope.
It's all you, Billy.
It was probably when you shared the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Maybe.
All right. Well, you were okay. Let's get back. Let's do this for this first go around. Movies as a kid that just pick a movie when you were a kid that like scared the crap out of you. I'm sure it wasn't that Mummy one, Graham, that you were talking about.
No,
you showed.
but it was the first monster movie I ever saw was Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. I was 8 years old, I think. And my mom let me watch it, and she had to stay. She was folding laundry. I laid in her bed, and I got to watch it on this tiny little black and white screen because I really wanted to see this thing. And she let me, but she wanted to be in the room and make sure I didn't get too scared. And that was the first monster movie I ever saw, and I fell in love with monsters at that point. But and Frankenstein became my favorite monster because of that movie.
Oh,
even
really?
though Bela Lugosi playing him. But the Wolfman scared the shit out of me. because like when he would change, he was this nice guy, this sad sack dude, you know, and then he would change, and then he'd get those shifty eyes, like they'd be close in on him like this, and he'd go back and forth. He's got the teeth, and then you know, then he's all feral and everything, and that really freaked me out when I was little.
I remember that. Now I didn't see it back then. I
look at
saw it
Billy,
probably when
that's
I was
right.
a teenager. But I
One of the
remember that changing sequence they did with him back then. 'Cause that was really like top of the line for that time period for what they did.
Oh,
yeah. And
Jack
I think it still really holds up.
Yeah,
It really
Jack
does. You know,
makeup is
they're
amazing.
amazing transformations. You know, how
Yeah.
Jack Pierce would, like when there was the scene where he's laying on a pillow. The pillow was made of plaster of Paris, so that the wrinkles wouldn't change. So the actor's head laid in there.
Oh, that's brilliant.
This solid piece. So he would change, but the pillow wouldn't move, and that was a great way to do that.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
what
yeah.
they would do is they would take a picture and then he would move and they put more makeup on him. Then they put
Right.
him back. It was almost like animation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stop motion animation. Yeah.
And Jack Pierce built every one of those makeups up. It was before they did the masks and casted you know, the prosthetics and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
You know, he built that up with cotton and collodion and all this toxic shit, and yak hair for
Yeah.
the Wolfman.
Oh, you reek
You know.
of yak. I love it.
Yeah.
Now, who was the actor that played the Wolfman?
It was always Lon Chaney Jr.
Lon Chaney
Yes.
Jr.
Nobody
Oh, it
else
was,
ever
okay.
played the Wolfman.
Really?
Yep.
And
That's what Jack
okay, so
Nicholson-
now I'm curious, over what span of like when did it start, year, and then when was the last time he played him then? Like what's the span of that?
1941 was the Wolfman, and then the last one that he technically played him was Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein in 1948. So that would be 7 years.
Oh, okay. So 7
But
years.
he did play him again
Yeah.
in Route 66.
Yeah. What was it called? Something Toad's Breath and how?
It was like a Shakespeare phrase, like
The old witches.
yeah, from Macbeth,
From,
I think it was from.
it was something like you know, like a potion thing, like snails, tails, and puppy dogs. Something I can't remember now.
Right.
Maybe somebody in the chat will remember.
Hey,
Danny.
Graham, I got a question for you, though. And this has always boggled my mind. I can never figure it out. Okay, there's werewolves and there's the wolf man.
Right.
So what's the difference? One actually changes into a full wolf,
No.
and then the other one is
No.
like a half wolf, half man.
I think
The
it's
wolf-
just who makes
The Wolfman
Go ahead.
is a werewolf.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
a werewolf, but they trademark the name.
Okay, so it's
It's
just
simple
it's
as
just
that.
about
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
about trademarking. Okay.
No, nobody
they had
called him,
werewolf
they
films.
didn't
Yeah.
say, "Hey, Wolfman." You know, they said, "Hey, he
Right.
turns into a wolf man, or he turns into a werewolf, a lycanthrope." You know, it
Right.
wasn't like he had a name. Just like Frankenstein, the monster that we know as Frankenstein. Nobody calls him Frankenstein. You know.
They call him Howard, actually, right? I think it's
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Hey,
I
Howard.
thought they were
Everybody knows.
called.
Everybody
Sometimes
knows
his
that.
friends called him Zippy.
I
Zippy,
did not
that's right.
know
Zippy.
as a kid that they were lycanthropes. I thought they were called lycanthropes.
No. What?
I did.
lycanthropes.
I did.
Lycanthropy is the study of lycanthropes.
Probably.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So then
Lycanthropia.
why did Hollywood later just discard the Wolfman? Was that because Universal had the copyright?
It's all Universal. So
Yeah.
So then Hollywood, like American Werewolf in London, they couldn't do the
The
American
greatest.
Wolfman in London.
Correct.
So,
Right.
so then
Right.
he became an actual wolf instead of like half man, half wolf.
Well, yeah, but did Universal even, I guess, own that? So like any other company couldn't do basically a man, they had to go full wolf.
No, because the Howling
Okay.
did it. The Howling did it.
Yeah. The Howling was another. Good
Oh
one.
yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
What was the one with Reed?
Curse of the Werewolf.
Curse of the Werewolf. Yeah,
He was
a
a
great werewolf,
great
but he's only in the
werewolf.
movie for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
a werewolf doesn't have to be a actual man that turns into a wolf. It
Yes.
could be like a half man, half wolf.
Yeah,
Okay,
You
I
can
got
make
it.
up your own
it's not
mythology.
real, so you can make it anything you want.
Yeah.
I realize that. I realize that, but I mean, there are some hard, fast rules to some of this stuff.
Right?
you could have a woman turn into it, and they just still call it a werewolf or
Yeah.
a wolf
And
man.
if the wolf thinks that it's a dog, then it's a queer wolf.
Yes.
Right.
Actually, it's so funny because I have a werewife, believe it or not.
Oh,
Is she hairy?
And,
She's
The
a little
full moon,
hairy.
she changes.
That's right. All right, Art. What about you as a kid? Any movies that really
All right.
twisted you up?
If
gotta
my
find it.
parents knew that my neighbor, Gil Martin, I think he had good intentions, but I hung out with his son, Bobby. And Bobby, like it's weird, like you hang out like when you're growing up and you don't realize this guy's like 5 years older than you, right? Until you start getting older. And so Bob was of age, but I was not. And so maybe either Graham or I think Billy or Aaron might know the answer to this. When did what was it? Oh my gosh, Planet of the Apes. Was it Beneath the Planet of the Apes? When did Beneath the Planet of the Apes come out?
1970.
78, 77?
70.
no, Beneath.
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 The second one.
Oh, I was thinking of Battle. Yeah. Beneath.
Okay, so then I was like 8 or 9. Okay, so I'm way too young
Lies.
for this stinking movie. Lies. I was 80. And so Gil's like, yeah, I'll take you to the matinee, whatever. And so we're like, yeah, cool. See Beneath the Planet of the Apes. I hadn't seen the first one, so I'm just like my introduction to these movies was Beneath. Okay, so that's a dark ass movie to begin with. But there's these guys that had all the veins. They lived underground. They're like these mutant dudes.
Yeah, the mutants.
And those guys scared me more than the freaking, like human monkeys. And so there was this scene where they're locked up, like these underground mutants got the monkeys or I don't know who was like the hero or who it was, but he was locked up in this jail cell.
Franciscus.
Was it?
Yeah.
And so then that guy, he breaks open the door somehow, and the doors had like these spikes on them.
Yeah.
All these spikes that came out, and he swung the door around and impaled that dude. He was like a chubbier, mutant dude. And it wasn't just that it impaled him, but he was like he was like slowly dying. And I was like, oh shit. Oh God. What's happening? And so I tell you, man, I had nightmares for weeks. And these are one of those things you never tell your parents, right? In those days, you didn't tell your parents because you're like, I want to go see one of these things again. So you don't want to spoil it, right? So you could have like a broken arm, but you don't tell your parents because then they're going to take your bicycle away or whatever it is, right? So you're always trying to hide that shit from your folks. And so to this day, my parents didn't know that Gil Martin took me to see Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
There's not very few movies that end as darkly as that film because everybody dies. The entire planet blows up. And then the screen is black, and then you hear a voiceover and a light.
Well, the end of
the universe.
Yep.
I think the end of Duck Dodgers, they blow up the planet too. That's pretty dark.
Yeah, but there's a piece left.
There's
There's
one
a piece left. They're hanging on to. That's right.
That's right.
It's weird because I remember in the day everybody go, Star Wars, good clean fun, right? Good clean fun. They blow up planets. There's a Death Star. There's like millions and millions of death toll in that movie.
Well, when they blow up Alderaan, the entire world right there. Her world is gone.
But because you don't see people, you just see this planet. You just don't even think of it,
Yeah, there's a disconnect.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Now, if they cut away to the planet and you saw body parts flying and a little baby's head go rolling down the street and the planet, then it would scar people.
Mm-hmm.
And George Lucas would be a villain.
Well, you know what? When Superman, the movie came out and they blew up Krypton, you did see all the bodies flying.
Yeah,
it's true.
They were falling down, falling out of windows, getting impaled and shit, and then the whole thing blows up,
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were foreigners. We didn't care.
That's right. That's right.
What are you saying?
What about you, Mr. Tucci?
Wow.
You should have built a wall for the Kryptonians.
Dang.
That's right.
J. Cool LLJ.
Yeah.
Kidding.
What a schmuck. Fucking schmuck.
Dan Fraga
You
for
say Mr.
president.
Tucci.
I can share it. I'm going to share it. Now, I was a little kid. I
Okay.
had to be like, and I remember like yesterday. Now, today, I like to watch that scene, mind you. But when I was a
Oh,
kid,
no.
I had to be 6, 7 years old, and it was late at night, and I couldn't sleep. And I went downstairs into the den, into the family room, and I just put it on TV. And this movie was on. And I'll share it if you don't mind sharing it.
Yeah.
All right. Now this movie takes a whole different feel.
yeah.
Fearless Vampire.
This
Killers.
scene right here, though, and it's only like 20 seconds long. The scene that I'm
Look at the
Okay.
little freckles. Look at the freckles. Ooh.
I know. Look how gorgeous
Yeah.
it is.
God.
Then what really happened to her is just terrifying.
Yeah.
There you go.
Terrible. She's got like a Juliana Moore kind of vibe.
Oh yeah.
Pull it back. Keep pulling back.
Yeah.
Fake snow.
I know.
This vampire coming out of ceiling and doing this. I had
So
nightmares that whole
creepy.
night. It scared the shit out of me.
Creepy.
So I don't
Wow.
know.
Creepy.
But we can just go back and look at her. Let's just look at that. Let's
Yeah.
just leave it there. Let's just leave it
She's
there.
gorgeous.
That's like the last look she ever gave.
Is he like busting guts on her? Like, what is all that stuff flying all over
That's
her?
the snow. He came through the ceiling.
Oh,
So it's
I thought he
snowing
was
outside.
yeeting all up on her, bro.
And then just
That's the bath water splashing against the window, isn't it? The bath water and the soap.
Yes,
splashing.
that's a bathwater
Yeah.
splash kicking.
Okay.
It's vampire spunk.
That's what
Yes.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Wasn't she getting a little friendly with Roman Polanski just before this scene hits, and you thought, oh, he's going to score with this chick, and then nope, vampire gets her first.
Gets her. Dracula's got good taste, man.
Oh yeah.
You
By
know?
the way, that's not the best entrance ever. I mean, that was pretty.
No,
pretty
you're-
bad.
Yeah, he's got a
I-
good taste too, apparently.
I remember Googling it. I'm like, what? Like back in the day, I'm like, what was that movie that scared me? Was it Billy the Kid versus Dracula? And then I'm like, no, he came through a ceiling, and I remember snow, and it was just that scene. But I was a little kid. I had to be like, I don't know what the hell I was. Like I said, 6, 7 years old. Scared the crap out of me.
Only because it was a hot chick. If where'd he go?
He bounced
He took
himself.
himself out.
He
He
really
did.
took
I didn't
himself
touch
out.
anything.
He was
Oh
probably
my
trying to
God.
turn off his share screen.
How
and
long
kick
has
himself
Billy
out.
been on YouTube and he cannot figure out the controls, man?
Oh, if he's no good without Nile. So
He's not
there
even
you go.
coming back.
Sorry,
It's
Ross. I closed
It's
the
like
wrong.
show's over.
Closed the wrong window.
You think?
How did that happen? I don't know. I guess I must have been mesmerized by that.
Sharon Tate got me all bothered.
Paul Revere and the Raiders with "Don't Go Change It."
Paul Revere and the Raiders, man. That's hilarious.
You know, this wasn't the one that did it to me, but I saw that comment. That was a movie that freaked me out, though, in the Trilogy of Terror, that little Zuni voodoo doll.
That's the best story in the 3 stories too.
Yeah,
Totally the best one.
The ending. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Is that the one with what's her name?
Black
Karen
turns around.
Black.
Yeah.
That even as a kid, I was like, it's a freaking doll. Just kick it. Like I was like, it's like.
Oh
this
my God,
tall.
dude! I couldn't go near couches and stuff because I'd be afraid something from under the couch would start going.
Yeah.
Never did it for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a lot
That's
younger
another
than you.
great
Art.
Matheson screenplay.
Yeah. He did a lot of good.
Yeah, I don't even know what the other 2 stories were in that trilogy thing. So
I know this is the.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, nobody remembers.
No.
yeah. Oh wait,
There's a
how'd
bunch
this
of
happen?
those
There
not
we
necessarily trilogies, but collection of stories like Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Fear,
Cat's Eye.
that they
Night
were making.
Gallery.
Creep Show.
Yeah, well, those were later. Oh, Freak Show.
Twilight Zone.
Yeah, that stuff was all later, but in the early 70s, there's a bunch of those.
What was the one that was
anthologies,
Outer Limits, man?
Outer Limits was great too.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
more sfi.
Well, they had Twilight Zone, but they also had Night Gallery, and that's where the Night Galleries where they had the like horror anthology stuff.
Yeah, it was creepier.
Yeah,
And
those
they-
creepy paintings.
They had
Was
the
it?
paintings. Yeah.
I think Spielberg did the pilot, the Night Gallery with what's her face, Joan Crawford, where she was a blind woman.
Oh, dang.
And it was Spielberg did the TV movie called Night Gallery. It was
That's like one of his first ones. You're right.
yeah. It was. I think it might have been his very first one.
Yeah,
I thought his
like
first was
before
Duel.
Duel.
It
Yeah,
was Duel.
No, it was
Duel.
I think it was
Duel.
before Duel.
Because he did that. He did like Columbo, and he did, and then he did Duel.
Oh, he did do Columbo. I just watched Duel last week.
It
how
holds
they did
up.
No, it doesn't.
Except,
Ah, man.
I don't know.
You know what? The
Atlantic
original
Express.
run time of that was 84 minutes, and then they shot extra stuff so they could make it a movie in Europe. And now it's an hour and a half, and the hour and a half movie is padded shit.
That's
Yeah,
too
well, don't
much.
watch that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Watch
but
the
that's 6.
84
That's
minute
only
one.
6 more minutes. So the 6 more minutes are that bad?
No, it's more than that.
Yeah. Have you ever
You
seen
said it
the
was 84
insect
minutes,
scene
right?
In King Kong, in the King Kong remake? My God.
Mm.
What about
That's a
Sleep?
long movie.
Well,
That's
King
a long
Kong,
movie.
Peter Jackson's King Kong is too long anyway to begin with.
Yeah, that's another one.
So
But
long.
no, in Duel, when he goes into the diner at the gas station and we start hearing his thoughts, that was a huge mistake. That's when it kind of took me out of the movie, and I was like, "This is so corny. Please stop."
Yeah.
And
You know,
Dennis, we need to hear Dennis Weaver talking in his own head, just his looking around. We know that he's worried that the trucker might be in there,
That,
Yeah,
could,
It's like
that might
he
not
did the
have been
voiceover
Spielberg,
for Blade Runner. The voiceover for Blade
Yeah.
Runner.
It might
was
not have been
mistake.
Spielberg. It might have been a producer saying, "I don't know if the audience will get it. We need to do,
That's very true.
that
But I'm just
happens
saying,
a
that
lot.
regardless,
Well, that's what happened with Blade Runner.
The underlying story in Duel is a man that can't stand up. He's not masculine enough, and the way they telegraph that in the theatrical version is he goes into that diner, or before he goes into the diner, he goes to that gas station and calls his wife, and then you find out they've had an argument because some dude was hitting on his wife at some party and he didn't stand up for her, and so it's this whole theme of is he doesn't have the masculinity to stand up against pressure.
Jellyfish spine.
Yeah, and he never does change in the movie, and that's the problem. Is that he gets pushed and he gets pushed and he pushed, and he never does change. He never does come over.
It's been 20 years, maybe.
How's that
maybe
movie
I need to
end?
watch it again.
I never even seen the whole thing because I was like, eh.
I have. Yeah, I like that Sugarland Express.
I liked it
How
when I
does
saw it.
how does the movie end?
Yeah, how's it end?
Yeah, how's it end?
Well, the truck pushes the car, and he jumps out, and they're it's in like California or Arizona or something like that, and it goes over this kind of cliff, and then it goes down and it blows up, and then Dennis Weaver's standing there throwing stones at it.
Yeah, he's just sitting on the side of the road, and then it just kind of ends.
Yeah, it's very unsatisfying.
That's what I
It
was
is.
about to say. Sounds like it.
Yeah, it's
And then
very
they gave him
unsatisfying.
Jaws after that.
But I'll say
No,
that, there's a scene where Dennis Weaver goes chasing after the truck, like it starts pulling away from that diner, and he starts running after it. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, he's a really good runner. He's hauling ass there. Well, he was a decathlete in the 1948 Olympics.
Oh, really?
No shit.
Wow.
Holy crap.
Like, damn, Dennis Weaver can run.
Man.
Run, Weaver,
Wow.
run!
Run, Weaver, run.
You know how you can tell if they're an actor or if they're a real athlete,
Right.
because
Oh, yeah.
I'm this is one of my pet peeves. I'm a really critical son of a bitch when it comes to this. When actors start doing stuff like running on screen. Tom Cruise, he's good. He's a good runner, and he runs all the time on screen. But you see these other people, Liam Neeson, who you see in Taken, running after somebody. It's like, he's not catching nobody.
Yeah.
And he has never he has never hit the track. He runs like an actor. But then you'll see guys like Dennis Weaver take off, and you're like, fucker can run.
Yeah.
Well, it was fun because Chris Evans, he plays Captain America, and they were talking like the stunt guys and stuff were talking about filling in for the guy, and they couldn't do it because he runs in such a unique way that you could tell if it wasn't him running.
Yeah.
And so he ended up doing most of the stuff himself just because there was no stunt double that could convincingly fool people that it was Chris Evans. So some people are just very unique, and it just worked out that he could run pretty good.
Well, I mean, he got in such amazing shape for those movies anyhow. So I'm sure that was part. Keanu Reeves, same thing. He's good,
No, he's
And
not.
Keanu
A good runner.
Reeves-
He's
Yeah.
not a good runner.
He's not a good runner.
You don't
But
think so?
Reeves
No,
is one of
Keanu
those
Reeves
guys-
runs like he's got lead weights in his shoes.
Yeah, but he's one of those guys that I think he's a physical actor. I don't think he's like an actor's actor. I think he's one of those guys that can just do physical.
The physical stuff he's great at.
Yeah, all that physical gunplay, all that stuff. He's really, really
Well,
good
have you
at.
seen the behind the scenes stuff when he goes to where he's basically training for all that gun stuff at ranges and stuff, and not just shooting, but hiding behind stuff, popping out, shooting in a specific stance and whatnot. He gets into all that.
Three gun. He's really good at that. He's really good. Like you could see he trains all the time. You could see he loves it.
Yeah,
he's really good at all that at three gun.
Did you ever see Heat? The movie
Yes.
Heat? Michael
Oh
Mann?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There are military training schools that use that movie because of Val Kilmer to show the proper way to reload an automatic weapon. Like Val Kilmer, there's that scene after they get out of the bank and the shootout starts.
Yeah.
And Val Kilmer, he's pulling up, I think it's an MP5, and he's pulling that thing out, and he's like, boom, he drops it out, pop, pop, and they use that as a training film now.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, because he did it so good.
That's a great scene, and if that's called a bounding override, what they did. And it's basically, when one moves, the others shoot to keep the others' heads down. And that's how you can get either retreating like they were doing, or you go towards the enemy. That's what you do.
So there's always bullets flying.
And then they go, and then go. And then as soon as you get in, you get up, you go, you scream to the guy, go. And then you just lay out dropping fucking mags.
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
Great.
Yeah, me and my
Dude, we
bud.
should do
That's
this
how we
shit
roll.
together. You know how much fun we'd have, man? Oh my
Yeah.
God,
We got to do the CG meetup in Vegas. Then we go out in the desert and shoot that shit.
Yeah.
You don't even have to go out to the desert
though.
here.
Orlando does it too.
Yeah, but they don't. Do they do the outdoor ones?
I don't know. I just heard that Orlando does it.
Okay.
That's as far as my lies go today.
You're gonna love this, Billy. My
It's
daughter
early.
goes out to the desert with she's got some like ex-military friends, and they go out and shoot up the desert. Man, they got all kinds of automatics and stuff,
Great.
and they're just going out there, pop, 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 pop. Yeah,
Oh, that's fun.
All right, Dan, what do you got?
Brandon Choi used to do that all the time out in the desert.
So one of the first movies I remember just scaring the living shit out of me was it was a deep cut, and some of you guys, it may bring back memories. You're like, I just watched that the other day. It's a movie from 1978 called Laser Blast. If you want to share my screen.
Yeah, I will.
You'll see it, and it'll bring back memories if you've seen it. Okay. This guy finds this like gun thing in the desert, and it starts like turning him like zombie, and these like aliens, these fucking turtle looking aliens start trying to find him and get the gun. And by the time he starts getting infected by this gun, like as he gets more powerful, the thing turns him more and more zombie like. This thing fucking freaked me the fuck out, especially
dude. Find the trailer. Find the trailer. It's got to be on YouTube.
Yeah, I've got to see what this is about.
I never heard of
Find
it.
that trailer.
I've never seen it.
Hold on.
this is like those stories where the guy's got the bloodstone, in his sword, and then he just got to kill to feed the weapon, the beast.
Yes.
There's like a lot of those movies that like you'd see stills from growing up, and you're like, oh, I've got to see that movie. It's so
this movie
cool. And then you see it, and you're like, ugh.
You know which one? You know which one does that to me is Reanimator.
This movie made me ill. You guys, can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at
so
that
he
little
finds
homo.
this fucking gun.
Oh my God, it's a flea stack.
Yeah, this is Land of the Lost.
This could all be happening right now, somewhere on this planet.
Does he start turning into one of them? Is that what it
It's
is?
the story of
I don't
a
know,
UFO
dude.
that
It
has
like
landed,
it
and visitors from a
it
galaxy
starts
light
like
years away.
corrupting him.
At least
thing.
it's got stop motion animation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
at- see, he starts fucking.
Look at these guys.
That shit.
He looks like what's her name from The Exorcist.
Unlike anything on
Yeah.
this planet.
Linda Blair.
Oh man, this is
It's like
Harryhausen.
low budget Harryhausen.
Yeah, this is
What
Harryhausen.
is
Yeah.
here now?
You better pause it for a second and then go back.
Yeah.
Blast.
Look at that. How creepy is
Joker.
he just shot that guy right in the face.
You just
That was
shot Jim
point blank.
Henson. That's Jim Henson.
Look at that,
Yeah.
though. Tell me that when you're 5, if that doesn't freak you the fuck out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Boom! Right in the face.
It's
Hey,
the
that's
story
Len
of the
Wein.
boy who found it.
Yeah.
Who tried to help him.
You know what was weird is that over the shoulder shot where he shot the driver, it didn't look like he had the makeup on.
No.
He did.
He did not.
They didn't know I
I love it.
Wow.
Man, that's what's her name from The Exorcist.
Nolen's period. Laser blast.
Hey, that old man.
That was a
That's
scary freaking movie, Exorcist, man.
It will blow your mind.
There you
Oh,
go.
shit.
So
It
I don't know if
it
you
blew
could,
Dan Fraga's mind.
I don't know if you could see why that would freak out a 5-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
But
I
it
can see.
freaked me the
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
out. Especially like the turtle-looking dudes. They were like, they're weird, but that guy, just the zombie, and like he went from this like cool motorcycle kid. What did it say? Oh,
He says it's a movie meant as a promo for the FX people to showcase their work to
wouldn't
movie
have known
studios
that.
at the time. The story
Okay.
was interjected into it.
okay,
That's
yeah,
what he
because he starts out as like the cool 70s guy on his motorcycle, and he's out in the desert and he finds the thing, and it's like the power corrupts him, but you could see it physically changing him. Creepy as fuck. Creepy as fuck. So that was it. Laser Blast, 1978.
Laser blast.
So
Yeah.
have you watched it high yet?
Yes,
He was high when he was 5.
I was.
That's right.
Yes. Turns out the movie I saw was Star Wars. You know, it's fucking weird.
Well, Aaron, what do you got? Top that.
Okay, well, there's I got two answers here, and one they're kind of very different. But the one that really horror movies never scared me. I never went and saw like satanic possession movies. That always freaked me out, so I would never go see something like that. Like I never saw The Exorcist.
Oh,
But
Damien.
for the I did see Omen, which didn't really. But
How about Satan's
Movie-
Reign with William Shatner? Or the Devil's Reign? The
Devil's
Devil's
Reign?
Reign.
what was the one? What was the one that
That's the
Peter
Devil's
Fonda
Reign?
and Race with the Devil? It was Peter Fonda and Warren Oates. They were like they had their motorhomes and they camped at this park, and there was this satanic ritual there that they witnessed where they sacrificed this chick. So all the Satan worshipers are chasing them, and they're like in their motorhome and they're being chased. I mean, come on now, that's good stuff. But no, there was an episode of Thriller. Remember or the Boris Karloff show, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this old witch, or there was this witch. It started off like colonial times, and this woman had this wig, and they ended up hanging her at the very beginning of the thing. And they're like, they took the wig off her head, and they didn't show her face, but all the guys were like, oh, you know. Then you cut forward to modern day, and they have this wig, this famous witch's wig or whatever, on display in this museum. And they're doing this movie, and the actress says, I've got to have the actual wig to wear, you know, for the role. And so they get her the wig, and she turns into this, you know, monstrous, hideous killing machine.
Wait a minute,
And-
that's the plot to Laser Blast.
Yeah. But they never show her until the very end what she looks like with the wig on, because she could, like, whenever she puts the wig on, then she turns into this, you know. And so at the end, she's running, and they're on the set or something, and she's running, and a pillar or something falls on her and kills her, and then they take the wig off and show her face, and it's all gross, and you know, and it horrified me as a kid, and literally bothered me until probably about a year ago. My daughter was home, and I was telling her about this episode, and she goes, "That sounds stupid," and I said, "So." We look it up on YouTube, and there's the episode, right? And I said, all right. I mean, I was like facing my fears. I was like, all right, I'll watch it. So she sat there and watched it, and it was so bad we laughed our heads off. And I thought, it's like your laser thing, right? It's like,
Yes.
as an adult, you look back at it and go, this is ridiculous.
It
But
is.
as a kid, it absolutely horrified me and traumatized me till I was an adult. And then I finally faced my fears, and we watched it. And
And that's when you really got scared, is when your daughter's head fell off.
that's right. Trying to put it back
Right in your
on.
lap. You're like, oh my God.
But But I will say
your daughter starts shopping for a wig.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Kevin Thomas says it's a wig for Mrs. DeVore.
That's the
based
one.
on the short story by August Derleth, friend and student of H.P. Lovecraft. Sounds Lovecraftian, so that sounds.
I love that you guys have this knowledge that we can always count on these guys in the chat to come up with this stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, that was the episode. Now, the movie, what I saw on television was Deliverance, and you know what scene I'm talking about? Freaking Scar Me for Life. So that was a different kind of horror.
I was going to say.
Oh, the Deliverance.
The Deliverance was what? That was early 80s, or was that late?
Early 70s.
Early 70s?
Yeah.
He's got a pretty mouth.
Is that Lily Bell?
Yeah. 72.
Now this is Sammy.
Hey, Sammy.
Hey, Sammy.
My daughter's name
Hi,
is
Sammy.
Hey, Sammy, where's your mammy?
Mommy.
They're asking
Sammy.
Mammy.
She's the one that looks like a mini Dan.
Mammy.
Don't you know me, Mammy?
No, you know what's a trip is she looks exactly like her mom when she was her age. I found a pastel painting. Going through some boxes. This is from when Brianna was a kid.
Oh wow!
No,
now
she
look,
looks like her mom. Thankfully,
I know exactly. All right.
I don't know, Dan. I think if you shave it up and put a brown wig on with hair that length, you could go out and that could be your mini me.
That's true. Or I could just shave her head.
Oh.
You could, but that's pretty hurtful to your little
That would be
girl.
cruel.
Give me kisses. Say night-night.
Finally going to school, you're gonna shave her head. Not nice.
She found my needed eraser.
Hey, Sammy, your dad's talking about shaving your head. You better run.
Good
yes,
Lord.
my mom was furious with me that I had snuck off and watched Deliverance without her knowing it on TV, and I was just traumatized. Oh my gosh! So poor Ned Beatty. I could never watch a movie with Ned Beatty in it again without even Superman. I was like, when are they going to bend him over? You know?
Oh,
poor Ned Beatty.
Yeah, I didn't have, it. So this was one, but there were a couple. One, I still haven't seen The Exorcist all the way through. I was a little kid. It wasn't even going to watch it in a theater. Obviously, my parents wouldn't take me. It was when it was on TV, and I was just like, nope, can't do it. Something about possession and just evil and possession and stuff. I was like, nope, that seems like something that could happen. And I've yet to see that movie all the way through. However, that new one that's coming out October 6th, I actually want to see it. That's the weird thing.
Is it a remake of the original?
No. It has not Linda Blair, but a woman that was in the original.
A mom.
They bring back because it's these, huh?
It was the woman who played the mom. I can't remember. She's a big actor.
Okay.
How's she not dead now?
Yeah.
That's
She's
like
old.
50-something years ago.
No, it wasn't quite. It was
Exorcist.
What is it?
It's over 50 years. 72.
72.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
51
wow.
years old. So if that mom was 30, dude, she's in her 80s.
Oh yeah, well she looks it.
She's in it.
But yeah, she comes back because these two little girls basically disappear for, I'm trying to remember the trailer, for
It was like a week.
a week or so, yeah. And then they come back and they possess. It just gets worse and worse. But as an adult, I'm watching this trailer going, that actually looks really interesting. Yeah. So I'll see that, but I still won't watch the original. But no, as a kid, it was the Friday the 13th, the Jason with the hockey mask that really got me. And part of it was after watching it, I go to bed and I don't want to turn my light off and stuff. I'm a little kid and I'm trying to fall asleep. And like a half hour, 40 minutes later, my brother pops out from under the bed and just grabs me like that.
Oh no! Did he?
And he's got a mask on and stuff.
Oh, that is
and
awesome.
I was like,
your brother's awesome.
It just scarred the crap out of me.
Your brother's awesome.
So
those movies were comedies to me.
Yeah.
No, not the first few.
Dude, all of them except
20 when those came out.
Except for the only one of those sort of classic ones that did anything for me was The Nightmare on Elm Street, because the same reason you said earlier, like it could happen, totally couldn't happen. But the whole don't fall asleep or he'll kill you in your sleep.
Right.
That shit freaked me the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Not my turn,
Sure.
but go ahead.
Did you guys?
Oh
ever
no,
see-
I hear you.
Did you guys ever see that short film? You know that movie? It was called Mama, I think. That,
Yes.
Del Toro produced. Did
I've
you ever
heard
see
of
the
it.
short film that was based on? It's only
No,
like 5 minutes long.
I don't want to.
Freaking creepy.
I don't want
scary.
to. I don't want to.
Wait, what's Mama? That does ring a bell. What?
All those, they find these kids are in the cabin, and there's some weird possessed woman that's like some sort of demonic thing that is like was the mother to these kids and took care of them out in the woods. I guess the movie sucks, but the little movie that was made by these guys that actually made the feature was just like this. It was like a scene basically, and Del Toro saw it and thought, "Oh, this is brilliant," and he hired him to turn it into a feature. And of course, whenever you take a 5-minute segment of something and try to turn it into a 2-hour movie, it's probably going to fail. And this, I guess, apparently failed.
You know, it's funny when you bring up segments and like there's stuff that I don't know if you would categorize it as scares you, but like turns your stomach.
Mhm.
There was a scene in the Rob Zombie Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't know if you guys
I
have
saw
seen
that.
it, where the bad guy, the whatever his name is, Leatherface, where he wears that one guy's face, and the girl thinks it's her boyfriend, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And then she goes to grab it, and it like slides off.
Yeah.
It didn't scare me, but it made me want to vomit.
Oh, it was gross.
Oh, stomach
Hey,
turning.
what was it? That
Yeah.
movie where Leatherface or one of those guys they're in like a meat packing and he grabs that guy and he just hangs him up on one of those hooks.
Yes.
That
think so.
freaked
In the original,
fuck
it's
out
a
of
girl.
me.
It's
Is it a
in
girl?
Redwood, yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Mm.
oh shit.
But you know what?
that's
They never show
barbaric.
the hook going into her.
Oh,
No,
maybe
it
it's
doesn't
not Rob
That's the
matter.
Zombie.
thing. That's the thing about the original, the Toby Hooper one, is that the actual blood and guts in there is not that
It's not a
strong.
lot.
There's
Right,
not a
it's
lot. There's
the
a lot
indicated.
of splatter, blood splatter and noises and body shaking and stuff. But I think one of the most terrifying scenes is when that dude goes into the house and that steel door comes sliding open and the dude is standing there with a steel mallet and he just hauls off and smashes him in the head like he's going to kill a cow. The dude collapses down to the ground and is in his death throes. He's just, shaking like this in his death throes. The guy grabs him, pulls him further into the room, and then grabs that metal door and goes and closes it. It's like, that was freaking terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
One
What-
minute you're
what's that
alive, the
one
next
movie?
minute you got a mallet in your skull.
What's the movie? Man, it's a comedy. It's a dark comedy, and it's based on all those movies. And there's these two guys, and they just take off. They get a cabin in the woods, right? And they're just like, "Hey, man, this will be our hangout cabin." They're gonna fix it up and stuff. And then on the way there, they meet some college kids, and the college kids are like, "Hey, rednecks," they're scared of these two guys, right? And so then they go to the cabin, and they're just minding their own business. And then these college students, they already think these guys are like scary redneck, like psychos and stuff like that. And so they start kind of like their fear ends up getting themselves killed. Like, so there's one guy and he's fixing up the house. He's got a wood chipper and he's throwing stuff in there. And then this guy's like, we got to kill these psychopaths or whatever. So he's gonna, Tucker and Dale fight evil. That's it. This movie is
Never heard of it.
freaking amazing. And so the guy goes to push Tucker or whatever, Dale, into the wood chipper, and then he just like looks down and it's just like a Looney Tune. He like ties his shoe or whatever, and the guy goes flying into the chipper, right? But it's ultra violent. It's like, oh my gosh. So he grabs this kid and he's like trying to pull him out of because he's got his legs. He doesn't go. He's like trying to pull him. He finally pulls him out, but it's like there's blood everywhere. He pulls out just these two legs, right? And it's kind of like it's one of those, like it's funny, but it's like really like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the same time. So it's the perfect blend of both these things. And then there's just one. Let me just say, there's one joke in there, and it's like the Tucker and Dale, they're just talking. It's like, why are all these college kids killing themselves? because eventually they all die, but they all die by their own hands. Those two guys don't do anything. These guys are trying to kill them.
Yo, the chainsaw scene in Scarface also bothered me.
Oh,
yeah,
is that the one in the bathroom?
Yeah,
Yeah,
where he just starts fucking
Yeah.
going into that guy's head, and just blood and he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
makes you.
You
your
know, one of
stomach
the most
turn.
disturbing scenes for me is because it was so realistic. Was that sequence in Saving Private Ryan, where the Jewish soldier goes up to the second floor and he finds the Nazi. And they get into that fight. Yes, yes.
It's so slow.
Yes, and then he's like pushing, and then all of a sudden he's like begging for it. Like, okay, no, like stop, no, and he's and the guy's like shush, and then he pushes the bayonet through him.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
who would be like that guy? I mean, that really disturbed me when I saw that.
Me
No,
too.
yeah.
Me
Yeah.
too. That was a really tough scene.
That
to
was
watch.
brutal.
Super tough scene.
And then the German
Well,
comes down the stairs, and
Yeah.
the American dude is just a pussy and lets him go by.
Right.
He didn't
Yeah.
go.
The guy just
ET
walks
kid.
by him too. The German guy just walks by him like he's not even there. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's you should.
Well,
like,
this
enough.
isn't horror, but because you brought up Saving Private Ryan, and we love our tangents on this show, I know I'm going to bring up something. I've got one episode left. I've been binging it since Friday, and you guys will laugh because it's 20 years old. I've never seen it. I'm finally watching Band of Brothers.
Oh yeah,
just like, holy crap, this is awesome!
Yeah.
It's
All
much
the
better than
actors that are
Private
in it,
Ryan.
huh?
You've never
It's much
seen
better than
Band
Private
of
Ryan.
Brothers?
Well, you've got
No.
more. You have more time to develop it. You know, I think no Saving Private Ryan, no Band of Brothers.
Oh
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
it
Oh,
kinda
definitely.
No
Definitely.
combat, no Saving Private Ryan.
True.
Steven Spielberg stole so much shit from combat.
Yeah.
It's not even funny.
For sure. But I'll tell you, man, I remember seeing that in the theater, saw it with Michael Turner, and both of us, we were in one of the ones with the amazing surround sound. It's like the bullets are zipping over your head, and
Oh, yeah.
you know, you're like in your fucking seat, like, you know, dodging shit. I loved it. I loved that movie.
A lot
Yeah,
of
Well, what I was going to
hard
say about
time
Band of
watching
Brothers is, you know, you were talking about the knife scene in Saving Private Ryan, and in Band of Brothers, I can't remember what episode it was, but it was when they were fighting in the winter in the forest in the snowstorm, or it was all snowy and stuff.
Yeah.
And the dudes got a couple of the guys got their legs blown off, and they're, you know, and just the makeup and special effects stuff, because that's the stuff. It's weird because as a kid, horror movies just freaked me out, scared me. As an adult, I like going because I like to see if I can figure out how they do the effects, whether it's practical or whatever. And yeah, just some of the stuff. And yeah, like I said, I'm 20 years late to it, but I'm glad I'm watching it because I just love the interviews in the beginning with the actual vets.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I've
Have
got,
you seen the last one yet?
that's the one I got to watch.
Okay, have a tissue ready.
Yeah.
Have a
It's
tissue
all right.
ready for
It's
the
great.
interviews at the end. The interview at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then after that, the Pacific. So
Yeah, like
there
you guys, this thought. I forgot all about this, but as you guys were talking, you know, like I grew up with like you know, the Vietnam War on TV and stuff, and they televised that war. So it was always kind of on around the house. And I remember this is a time where you could buy like boys, like realistic looking guns and stuff like that. And my dad bought me, this thing was really cool. It was metal and wood, and it was like a bolt action, like single bolt action, like little rifle. And you could eject it had like a little wooden shell, and you could eject the shell and everything. And I'll tell you, I was so afraid like of just war, shit was going to happen for, it must have been like weeks. That thing was by my side the whole fucking time. I remember like sleeping with that thing with me. And I remember like, this is when like donuts, you could like donuts would like, it was like ice cream, like they would just drive and they'd honk their horns, and you go out and get donuts in the morning. I remember going out with my mom to get these donuts and bread, and I had that rifle, because it had the strap on it and everything. And I remember I was like that, and then I think the guy asked me, and I was just like, I'm protecting my family, man. It's like this little shit. Yeah, I wish I still had that gun. It was pretty cool, man.
You could probably still find it on eBay. It probably cost you like $200 now, but
it was all wood. It was wood, but it was scaled down. It was wood, and the barrel was metal and everything.
Was it a Tommy gun?
No, it was a single bolt action. It looked like a real rifle.
Probably like a 1903 Springfield, one of them looking ones.
Yeah, they came in those big, long, open boxes, right? And it'd be like you get a safari gun or a Western or an Army gun, and they'd have like a helmet and some other stuff that would come in it. Those were awesome, man.
Yeah, they were. Planet
of the Apes Evil One for $5. Thank you very much. Old Sissies. I grew up watching horror in the late 80s, early 90s. Monster in the Closet, look it up. Only gave me nightmares because I watched it so much. Old Sissy. You were watching horror in the late 80s, early 90s. You're calling us old sissies? Those movies weren't. Get out of here.
Just remember who this is coming from. This is coming from Evil One. So
that's true. It takes a lot to scare the Evil One. That's for sure.
And we do love you.
Yes.
But I am curious about Monsters in the Closet. I haven't heard of that. So
it sounds gay.
But no, like
but they come out of the closet at the end.
That's right. That's why
they don't stay in.
But you mean happy?
Yeah.
You mean happy?
Happy monsters.
Yeah. Happy monsters.
Yeah.
No, the other thing I was thinking of too, like when I was thinking of this topic was like, for one, I'm still scared of heights. Now, not flying. Flying doesn't do anything, but like going up to, I can remember going up to Space Needle in Seattle, 25, 26 years ago, and Helen was with us, John Beatty, I believe his girlfriend at the time, and John scared of heights too. And Helen and John's girlfriend were like, come over to the edge. And we're like, no, we're good right here.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with like the Empire State Building. I was able to go up, in the 90s to the Twin Towers. It's like, nope.
Dude,
still scared of heights.
Building, I lean against the back wall when you're at the very top. I won't even go and look over the edge. I got to stay leaned up against. It's just terrible.
Well, what's weird too? I don't know what it is. So if I'm just standing on the street and I look up, no problem. Right. But if I'm at, really high, like the Empire State Building, and I look up, it's a totally different feeling.
Well, you're afraid of jumping. You're afraid of jumping. You're not afraid of falling. You're afraid of jumping.
No, he's afraid of landing.
No.
Yeah.
It's not the fall that kills you. It's the sudden stop.
I've been in Cessnas, right, where you're just right up against the door, and I've had the guy go, "Oh, check this out," and turn the plane like this, and I look and I go, "Oh, that's cool," because I feel like I'm buckled in and I'm safe. But if I'm up there and I'm not, I like we took the elevator in the Eiffel Tower, right, just up to the very first level. Mm-hmm. And I'm like in the back of it's a huge elevator. It's like you could get cattle in there, and I'm up against the back of it. It just, I don't know, when I can't go near the ledge and look over, but if I'm encased, I'm okay.
Aaron,
how high up is the first level of the Eiffel Tower? I have no idea.
Well, it's probably maybe a couple 100 feet, maybe. I don't, maybe not even that much. Probably no, it's probably not that much. It's probably like it's high, but.
Aaron, when we were in Germany, did you?
Oh, look at you, paratrooper man!
Billy knows that the secret to beating the fear of heights is to jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
That's right.
I can't even get on
without a parachute.
Yeah, but like Aaron said, I've gone up in small planes before. I've never gone up in a helicopter, but I want to. It's when I'm inside something like that, it's no problem. But it's almost the same with going really fast. In a car, I can go really fast, no problem. It doesn't faze me at all. But the couple times I've ridden a motorcycle, just getting up to regular, 55, 60, I'm like, wow, this feels really too fast. But in a car, I've gotten up to 140 and I'm fine. Yeah. All right, Billy, I get it.
Not these guys.
Graham, you were saying you went to Germany?
Yeah, I was asking Aaron, when we were in Germany, did you go into that elevator that went up
Yeah.
sideways?
Yeah, your wife was terrified.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, really?
This elevator goes up and it goes into the side of this building and goes into like this dark area, and it's going up sideways.
Yeah.
And then it straightens up and goes up, and then it takes you up to this tower, and you can get out and look around over the city.
Where'd you go? Like the Birch's Garden or something? What?
No. This was in I'm not sure if it wasn't Essen. It was it's that first stop where we had to do that signing. It was a more modern. It was one of those cities that was more modern because we bombed the shit out of it.
Yeah,
Cologne or something, maybe?
No, it wasn't Cologne.
It was it.
Dresden?
Cologne had the big.
Dresden's in East Germany.
I got a shirt when we were in Cologne.
Was it Scheisse?
No. Oh, doggone it. Not
Not
Heidelberg.
Yeah. But anyway, the whole thing was there's this, if my wife's claustrophobic and she's afraid of heights.
Yes.
So she was in this elevator and she was freaking out because all of a sudden you couldn't see out of it anymore, and
Well, we got up to the top of the tower and she and I stayed in the middle, and you and Shelly went out and we're like, oh, look at this. And we're like,
yeah, we're hanging off of it. Hey, get this picture.
No. I got up to the feet of the Statue of Liberty, and I couldn't go up any higher.
It might have been Frankfurt. Randy, was it Frankfurt? I think it was Frankfurt.
It might have been Frankfurt.
Yeah, Randy Hell just suggested Frankfurt. I think it
totally
was.
starts with an S.
Nobody said S.
It was either that.
I would like to go to replay for that.
No,
one.
I said it might be S.
Might have been Hanover. Hanover.
Oh, it was Hanover. That was it. It was
Hanover.
Yeah,
it was Hanover.
I always remember Hanover because of Hanover Fist, the Wrightson character, but I had to think of it for a second.
Of course.
So you're saying Aaron and I are the only one that have a fear of heights out of the six of us?
I used to have the biggest
I think
fear of
so.
heights. And
I have
then
no fear of heights.
when my brother David turned 18, he said all he wanted for his birthday was to skydive, and he wanted me to go. And I said, hell no. He said, bro, come on. It's the only thing I want. And I said, fine, because he and I are really tight. So I went up. I jumped out of the plane, tandem, of course. I had a terrific time, except for when the chute gets pulled and it karate chopped my nuts. That lovely feeling of the harness cracking your balls. But after that, heights didn't bother me, though. The only time it ever returns, and I've noticed it at malls. The malls that are like 2-3 stories. And the divider is glass.
Mm-hmm.
When my kids were little and they'd run up to it, it would give me that like, come back here, fuck, But that's the only time I ever have that feeling is it came back with my kids. But since skydiving, I haven't had the problem at all.
The only time I ever had any fear of falling. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. He was asking about claustrophobia. I am not afraid of. I'm not claustrophobic. Like I could be in a tight closet and it doesn't bother me. But when I see movies like that movie Descent, and that person's trying to make their way, and they couldn't, their arms, like they couldn't move this way or that way. That fucks me up.
Yeah.
Well, that's like life. That's different.
That's different. Yeah, because
but it's still a small
claustrophobia.
Space,
Yeah, but claustrophobia, small spaces and stuff, that doesn't bother me at all. But going off of what you said, Dan, there's a Twitter handle I follow, or X, whatever, something like Morbid Realities or some shit like that, right? And it showed what you were basically talking about. It showed a picture of a guy's legs. So it was his feet, and it went like up to like maybe half thigh, and he was stuck. He was, in this cave, whatever, and he was stuck. And they couldn't get him out. He ended up dying there.
Oh no!
And the family basically, with wherever this was able to work a deal is a bad word, lack of a better word, deal where they said, if you just entomb it so nobody else can get in there, just leave him, because this is what he loved doing was, crawling through caves.
That's where
whatever.
He's buried basically.
But that's not claustrophobic, but that's just.
Yeah.
I mean, he died there. I mean, that's
like
just
you wake up buried in a coffin underground. That's what that's.
Bro,
That
I used to be terrified that was going to happen when I was a kid. I saw too many of those Vincent Price movies. Where got buried
yeah.
That shit happened
Same
to me
here.
as a kid, though. I was at a park and I went through one of those little tunnels because I wanted to see what was on the other side, and I couldn't go forward, and then moving back was really hard, and it gave me like super anxiety. So that was like the first time I've ever experienced that feeling, you know?
There's a difference between being in a small space and being trapped in a small space.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, then I'm not claustrophobic because
So like you could go through an MRI.
Oh, absolutely, no problem.
Where it's like,
no problem. No problem.
Oh, no problem. Okay.
No problem.
Yeah, me too. It doesn't bother me.
You put me in a straitjacket. I've been in it. You know, it's
dude. I was encased in that freaking plaster in my whole head for like 3 hours.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, you know how we were talking about heights. The only time I ever had a problem with heights is it was San Diego, and somehow we're partying. We're in this suite. It's the San Diego Comic-Con, and there's a balcony, and there's like 50 people out on this balcony, like it's packed. And then I noticed that this balcony starts moving around, and I'm kind of out there too.
Jim Lee's party, wasn't it?
I don't know, but the balcony started moving, and I'm like, fuck that. I got out of that because, and then I started thinking, it's like, I don't have a height problem. I think I just don't trust the way things are built. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of trust.
Oh,
yeah, there's a trust issue.
Yeah, it's a trust problem.
Yeah, it's a
well, you see stuff like that on the news where it's like, oh, on this balcony with only like 10 people, and it should have been able to hold more, and it collapses.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
You know, right over here, the Charlotte Speedway. It was like 20 years ago. There's a walkway over the main road that connects the main parking lot to the Speedway, and it was like 20 years ago that collapsed.
Oh,
and you see stuff like that, and you're like, oh my God, that would be horrific. But then we're driving on bridges all the time, and you just never think about it because
once you get older, you go to those like carnivals or those festivals, and they have like those makeshift rides that they're like assembling and disassembling and driving from state to state. I don't do that. Yeah, and there was this one thing. It was called the octopus, and I always knew. I was like, this thing is not. This is not well designed. This is dangerous. And it was held by a fucking chain, and it just whips you around like these arms, and it just whips you around. And Magic Mountain, which was Southern California amusement park, they had one of those things. And one of the chains just broke and threw the freaking people across the freaking amusement park. And I was like,
when you're a kid. When you're a kid or a teenager, man, I went on all that stuff all the time. Now I look at him and I'm like you. I think to myself, that thing where you're just sitting in the chair and it speeds up and you're like horizontal swinging around. And I just think to myself, that chain snaps. Off you
I
go.
don't trust those guys either because they're tearing that stuff down and they're putting it back together. And then it's like, oh, there's a nut. Where did this nut go?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, and then they fire that thing up and put some kids on it. And it's like, oh, that's the nut that wasn't theirs that was holding the whole thing together.
We did that. We actually were walking the dog on the grounds where they had a carnival. Then a week later. You know, like then a carnival one weekend, and then we were just walking the dog in the area, and there was a big ass nut just laying there. Like, and I'm like,
that's part of a ride.
Where do you think this nut came from, honey? She's like, oh my God.
And they just drove. They just
specialized stuff.
And then they just drove. Yeah, they drove to another state. It's like, where's that nut? I don't know.
It's not like you go to the hardware store to get it.
No, it ain't.
No, it's one of a kind.
That's a carny trade.
It was like that. You need a special freaking, a giant crane, wrench to turn.
Yeah.
I just, Debbie was like, I don't know, Billy. I've never seen a nut that big.
Wow.
We wouldn't let the kids go on some of those rides at carnivals.
You're absolutely
One time we were
right.
at the Jersey Shore, and they had one of those setups where like the kids could go through this fun type thing, and they would be climbing on all the stuff. This is right on the boardwalk overlooking the ocean, and you get up to the very top, and it's kind of like a wooden ladder. Or a wooden bridge, one of those bridges, like it's like wooden planks and stuff. And so my daughter Becky, is all the way up on the top, and some little boy was like doing this and bouncing on it,
Oh,
and she was
shit.
freaking
Yeah.
out because the ocean's on one side and the boardwalk's on the other, and she's holding on, and I think like her shoe or something got stuck when the wood came back together, and she was up there crying, and I'm looking up there, and I'm like, is anybody gonna do anything here?
Get over
and
that.
I said, well, fuck it. And I just went all Spider-Man. I climbed over the fence. I climbed up the thing. I hopped over onto the walkway, ran down there, freed her up, and then took her down, And then the carney's like, good job.
Yeah, right.
I was going to get to it.
You want a job?
Yeah, I had a similar. It
all
was
the
one of those
time.
bridges.
Yeah, this happens all the time. You should be here more often.
Yeah.
It's quite a show.
I won't ride those rides again. Rihanna and I were right before we moved here to Atlanta. We went to the Orange County Fair, and the ride that it's like this, and it swings you, and it's got like a little thing.
Yeah.
Well, we got stuck at the very top for like 7 minutes, and it was super windy, so the thing is like blowing us around. The thing is swinging, and it won't move, and we don't know how long we're going to be up there. I smoked.
Are you upside down at this point?
No, we're right side up, thank God.
Oh, okay.
But I had smoked a big one, so I was like, this is going to be awesome. But to be stuck up there like that, again, a little bit of the fear of heights came back because of the way the wind was blowing and the thing was like swaying. I basically vowed never again will I ride
Is that the one they call the hammer? Is there one like on either end?
Yes, they're on both ends, and they
swings you around, and then the canopy kind of can rotate as well.
We used to call that the salt and pepper shaker.
Yeah.
Okay, I think when I was a kid, they called it the hammer, and then there was the zipper. Yeah, the zipper. That's the one. Yes, the zipper will freak you out because it's kind of like a Ferris wheel, but it goes more this way.
Yeah,
and then so it flips around, and you can flip the canopies around at the same time.
Insane, man. No thanks.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't go too far off the rails, did we?
Yeah.
No, we're still talking about
scary
shit.
Scary shit.
Yeah,
no, we're all terrified now.
Yeah.
Billy found a big nut in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Billy found
on the field.
Jeez.
That's when you tried to get their phone number and said, "Do you need this?" You take a picture with your phone. You go, "Do you need this?"
Was there ever any music that scared you guys?
Music?
Anything Black Sabbath.
There was
that
a song.
Mountain Kings was pretty scary.
When I was a little kid, there's a song by the Moody Blues called "Nights in White Satin."
Yeah,
I know that song.
There's this like haunting singing, and then it came out when I was like Sammy's age, and my dad had it on record players, and it sounded like the demons of hell. That one scared the fuck out of me.
I never got that from music, and I had that cassette tape of the Moody Blues you're talking about. Yeah.
And then the Who's Tommy, the soundtrack and the movie freaked me out.
The movie freaked me out too because
that needle sarcophagus, the Tina Turner.
The Acid Queen or whatever she was.
Yeah.
Was it Apocalypse Now where they held the dude's eyes? They held the guy's eyes open. Clockwork Orange. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anything with eyes like that, the way they did that just freaks me the hell out.
So you love drawing Mojo then?
Yeah, Mojo. Yeah, you should like drawing Mojo.
Yeah, but Mojo doesn't even look near human, so that's fine.
Did you ever see the Salvador Dali silent film when he grabs a woman like this? He's got a straight razor and he cuts her eyeball.
No,
no.
You guys want to see it?
No.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah, let's watch it. Shut up.
No, but I tell you what, I bet Graham and Billy, you'll probably remember this movie. Was there a movie just literally called? It was black and white. The Man with the X-ray Eyes.
Yes, dude, that's scary.
No, it's color. It's in color.
Is it in color?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Well, maybe I'm thinking of something else. But was there a scene he just went so crazy because he could just see through everything. He ends up gouging his own eyes out.
Yes.
Oh, fuck that.
That freaked me out as a kid so hard. just reaching in like that. And, oh
Dude,
God.
dude, did you guys see that Italian movie called Zombie, where the zombie breaks through the door and he pulls the girl through in her
the piece of wood?
The wood goes right into her eyes. Oh God, that was
How
horrible.
old is that movie? That actually sounds good.
80, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up.
That sounds tasty.
Yeah.
No,
And
I love
it's a
zombie
slow
movies like
thing,
that.
too. It's like it grabs her hair and just keeps pulling. And then you get to that side view shot, you know.
Yeah,
and it's
the
getting
thing going
closer
right
and
into her
closer.
eyes.
And then it's touching it, and then it's just going in.
Ah!
It's horrible.
Shit.
Oh,
There's a scene in that Tucker and Dale that I was telling you about, and if you guys haven't seen this movie, this is a spoiler alert because this did freak me out. Okay, so this kid, he thinks he's being chased by a serial killer because he thinks that Tucker and Dale, these guys are serial killers. So this kid's own fear gets him in trouble. So he's running from this Tucker and Dale, and these guys are just peace loving, beer drinking, rednecky type guys. And so he's running through this forest. And then he's just running. He just keeps looking back as he's running. He just keeps looking back. And then there's this broken tree. It's like this. And he just runs through it. He just impales himself right on the tree. And I'm telling you, it's so unexpected. You don't see it coming. And then when it happens, you're like, fuck. And it doesn't kill him right away. So he's just like, and you're just like, oh,
It's awful.
sounds like a
shit.
weird movie. I
Ugh.
I don't like it.
It's a funny movie. You should see
I'm gonna
it.
go get one more of these whiskey drink things.
No
Oh,
carbs.
do it.
Excellent.
Yeah,
What a
carbs.
bragger.
I'll be right.
What a
That's not a
bragger.
brag. What do you mean? I'm not brag. I'll bring you one. You want one?
I want one. Bring it.
All right, cool. I'll be back.
Graham,
Put it in the
Graham,
teleporter.
Graham, Citizen Ronan says they used an egg for that eyeball shot in Zombie.
Oh, is that right? Oh.
Oh, they
Really?
pushed it in an egg.
Yeah, this one they used a goat's eye for the close-up.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I gotta
You're
Oh, look
making
at
shit
Billy's
up.
checking it
You
out.
bastard.
trying to find it.
Now I do. I'm gonna have to look up zombie. Somebody else mentioned a movie called, we were talking about heights, called Fall, that came out in 2022.
Yeah, that's the one where
So-
the two girls are up on that tower.
I mean, how'd they get up
Radio
there? What's
antenna
the
tower?
whole deal?
And they get stuck up there. And
Yeah, the premise is they
super high.
they climbed it just to climb it, and then it was the
And they
whole
can't get
premise-
down.
They can't get down.
If you want to
You
share,
can't just because they're scared because they climbed up, so couldn't
No,
they get?
there's all
climb
kinds
down?
of shit that happens, you know.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen it.
See,
but
that
I
wouldn't
remember
freak
the
me out
story.
though, because even on a big screen in a theater, I mean, maybe if it was an IMAX or something, but I don't think that would do anything to me being scared of heights.
It's the same guys that made that 39 meters down or whatever, that shark movie where the cage breaks and it sinks.
Oh
to
yeah,
the
I like that movie. That was good.
Yeah.
That was 47 meters, maybe.
47 meters down, something like that. Yeah, whatever. It was.
Yeah, I like that. I thought that was pretty good. But see, I love shark movies.
Yeah, so
So
do I. It was for what it was. It was
I
pretty
like
good.
Warren.
When they were swimming back up and she lights the flare and there's this shark is like right there because they're in that dark ocean. Yeah.
Oh.
yeah, sharks are one of the things that
There's
scares
nothing
me.
more terrifying than a shark coming out of the dark
Oh, my
Yes.
God.
towards
Yeah.
you. I mean,
Yeah.
my daughter Mary loves sharks, and she wants to cage dive with sharks, and she's like,
I'm
"Let's
not-
do it."
Really?
I'm like, no way, I'm not
there.
interested in that.
Yeah.
And she
No.
showed me this video of this diver in the water, and their camera focused out into the water. They got a light, and it's murky and shit. And all of a sudden, you see this shape coming towards you, and it's a freaking great white coming right towards the camera. I'm like, okay, I just shit into my wetsuit, you know.
Well, see, it's one
Yeah.
it's one thing going down and just observing, but these guys feed these sharks, and that causes a frenzy. Like when there's blood in the water, those things come out and they go into a frenzy. I'm out of there. There's no way. Like just observing sharks, maybe, but man, those guys feed some
In
of
the
those guys
daylight.
feed 'em.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last summer,
Well,
we
see,
went
that's the
to-
other thing. Like I don't mind going out in the ocean during the day, but the same ocean, like really late at night, like say 1 a.m. or something, I'm like, nah, you know
mean
what?
feeding time?
I'm good.
Feeding
Yeah.
time. It's feeding
I'm
time.
good. I'll just stay here on the sandy shore.
Yeah, my boys went to last summer. We went to Cape Cod for a vacation, and they're rough surfing. They're playing in this brown, murky water. You know, they're just fighting and all this stuff. And I'm just standing right by that water, man. I'm just like looking, you know what I mean? Like the eagle eye, you know, because you just,
Right.
you know, it's prime,
Your
it's like
Chief Brody.
dark water, you know, but it's kind of rough, the water, but they're all splashing, fighting other kids, you know. And I'm like, get those Mexicans down there, get those kids. Don't go to my kids.
Well, the
But-
scariest thing is we were in Maui, and my daughter and I went snorkeling. Right, there's all kinds of rocks and stuff like that, and it's murky. I mean, there's moving water, and so it's not real clear. And we don't have any flashlights, and so we're just swimming around. And I'm glad it was me and not her. And so I'm swimming, and I go down, and then I just turned, and as I turned inside one of these caves, this head peeks out. I mean, it's like right here.
Moray eel?
No. That was my daughter. This was a sea turtle. So everybody's like bragging, like, "Oh, they're beautiful. They're beautiful." Not when the head of a sea turtle is like this close to your face.
Yeah, dude.
It's and it just picked up the light just perfect as it came out. And I was like, "Fuck!" And I just
I
went to the surface.
was turtle heading this morning.
You were turtle heading?
Yeah, turtle.
Yeah,
we were in St. John's. We were swimming. Same thing, snorkeling underwater. And there's all this bait fish all over the place. And it was in Truck Bay, maybe. It was amazing that these pelicans would just come right in and slam into the water because they're dive bombing on that. So you got to worry about them, but they're not going to hit you. But then you go down, you start going down, and all of a sudden the fish clear out, right? They, not from me. And this giant tarpon just shows up and scared the shit out of me. I'm like, oh! And he's like he had to be 8 feet long. Had to be 8 feet long. If he was a foot, Graham Nolen.
Did you ever see a barracuda?
Longer if it was a foot.
A barracuda.
Barracudas look mean, yeah.
They are scary as shit. When we were down in the Bahamas, they had this aquarium that you could walk around through at night and stuff. And they had these tunnels that would go through the aquarium. So, you're surrounded by 360 of water. And we're standing there looking over in this corner, and this was freaking barracuda sitting in the dark there looking out at us. And he's got these beady eyes and these teeth. And then he just kind of comes swimming out at you. You're like,
are they the ones that have the underbite? Like they have like the jaw that kind of comes out of the teeth?
Yeah.
Is that a barracuda?
Yeah. Yeah. They have the underbite thing.
Yeah, those things are pretty
Can
scary.
you share my screen, Andy?
Yeah, I was going to. I wanted to wait till everybody was here.
I'm so glad that.
Oh no!
I'm so
Aaron
glad
sent me
that
this. I don't
song
know why
is
Aaron
called
sent me this,
Barracuda.
but this is a classic.
Not coffee.
This is from 1920. I got to see this from 1929.
Great film. Great
What's
film.
going on with
Watch a little
this?
bit of it.
What is this? What is this? No,
Oh,
no,
geez,
no,
that's
no,
so
no. No!
Oh,
Why the fuck, man?
Oh,
talking about eyeballs with sticks. And I had one better from 1929.
what was the context of that?
I don't know. It's
I
some
know.
movie. I don't know if he's a killer or something, a psycho, and that was actually a goat's eye that they actually cut.
Well, she looked like she was into it.
Oh yeah, she was in.
That's right.
Well, that's what
She
it
was
made it look like it was a
I think she
demonstration.
lives.
I know.
She lives.
There's a crowd out there. It's like
Yeah, I think
It was
she
a
lives.
college
That woman
class.
lives. That woman lives. I think it's a dream sequence, though.
I think
If
it was
you
a
look at the end of it, I
glaucoma.
think
It
she
was
has both her eyes.
it was a glaucoma.
That's
That
what
was
it
early LASIK.
That's
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
was. Thank you.
You know what?
Before
What
it
year was
was-
that, Billy? 19 what?
1929.
1929. That's a pretty damn good effect.
Yep.
Which you've never seen a gore effect
Right.
in a 1929 movie, bro.
Right,
That's
yep.
it's foreign, right? It's got to be foreign.
and
Yeah,
a pretty
that's right.
sharp blade.
Luis
would've-
Buñuel and
Mitchell says it's a
Fraga
dead
Salvador
cow's
Dali
eye.
had it rolling it.
Wow.
Crazy shit, right, guys? Crazy shit.
Never heard of that one.
No.
You never have to
No.
tell her more than twice.
Thanks, Aaron.
So, Billy, nothing in real life. You're not scared of heights, obviously. Not claustrophobic.
he's a
Spiders, any type of animal.
Me? Oh, okay, there's something I'm terrified of. And it's more for my family, or I don't want to even put it out there, though, so knock on wood. But I'm just terrified of, like, fire. Like
Oh,
my
sure.
house catching fire. That's
Mhm.
like that like when we leave and go, I unplug like everything except for the lights.
Dude, I don't unplug everything, but I'm so paranoid about that.
Yeah, that's
I
the
just
one
think to
thing that
myself,
scares me.
yeah.
I was going to ask Debbie, like, what am I afraid of? And I think that's the one thing. That, and like I said, swim, in the ocean. I'll still go in, but I'm like, it ain't like, woo, unless it's like clear blue water.
Stay out of the water, man. You don't know what's down there.
Nah.
Yeah, Billy,
we snorkel and stuff. I do, but that gets you. That's an adrenaline rush.
Yeah,
but
see, with the ocean or with water, it depends. Because like when we lived in Florida, and yeah, the coast there, we've been to Daytona and all that, but it's not crystal clear. So I don't like that. But when we went to the Caymans for our honeymoon and stuff, that was just, that was so clear. You're looking 20 feet down, you can see everything.
That's fine.
That I didn't have a problem with, because you can just
the
see.
Keys are like that too. The Florida Keys.
I was snorkeling, and we went under. There was a boat, and there had to be like a 3-foot barracuda just sitting there, just sitting under just lying in wait under this boat. He was only 3 feet long, but I was like real close to him, But I guess because we're bigger, he's not going to
Yeah, 3 feet, but he's got a mouth that could take a hunk of meat.
It was terrifying looking, but I'm like,
yeah.
So then I can go and brag and say that I did it to Debbie, and then she's like, "Oh, he's not afraid of anything."
But Billy, fires before we left California, maybe 20 feet from my house.
Those
50,
were so
60
real.
foot flames, man.
Oh my God!
You
really
evacuated? They call it that area the Devil's Punch Bowl or something?
Yeah, it's
whole
horrible.
Area.
Yeah, and so we were out of the because the Santa Ana's kick up. And it's all dry hill, and it was like probably late summer, September, about this time of year. And holy shit, we were out of there for almost a week, like 3 or 4 days, and we didn't know if our house was there or not. And I'll tell you, man, you can get a lot of shit out of your house when you really have to. And we were just like, what's the most important stuff? What's the most important stuff? And I'm glad I did this early, because the fire was coming, but it's always like, which way is the wind blowing? All this other stuff. Right. So I'm like, let's just pack up now, before, they say, oh, it's going to come this direction. And I'll tell you, we were pretty reasonably prepared to vacate, but I'll tell you, man, there was only one way up the hill and one way down the hill. And like 5-10 minutes, we would have been stuck in it, because when we were bailing, it was coming over the ridge, man. It was like almost like following us down the hill. And these are like 50-60 foot flames. It was insane.
My wife grew up right by you. So you lived off of Green River, right?
Yeah.
She lived right next to, like, right in those hills, that little basin right next to Savvy Ranch.
Okay,
so she was right there too, and they had the same issue with the fires, because that whole area.
And when that wind kicks up, that stuff moves fast. And I remember getting back to the house, and it just burned the perimeter. It burned up to the perimeter, and I remember asking the fire department. I was thanking them. I was like, "Thank you, you saved our house." And it's like, we didn't do anything. I go, what? It's like, well, it looks like the fire stopped right at the perimeter, right up to the fence. And he said there was nothing left to burn. So they just monitor that stuff, and they can burn out. And so the fire luckily burned itself out because it had no more fuel. But man, it was touch and go for like 4 or 5 days. It was
that's terrifying.
Yeah, when it comes to natural disaster stuff, that's why I've never been a fan of like living in Cali. Because I like things that you see coming, like hurricanes.
That's
you see
where
that
you live,
coming.
man. You live in Hurricaneville.
No, I don't. I used to. I don't anymore. But it's like tornadoes, man. Forget it. People that live like in Tornado Alley and stuff like that, it's like, no.
Yeah,
that's the worst. I think that's the worst, because a hurricane, it's coming. You can watch it on the radar, and you can plan, you can get out. Tornadoes, you could be asleep. If you're in Tornado Alley, you don't have no basement, and it's night, right? And all of a sudden you hear the alarm go off.
Yeah.
It's pitch black out. All you hear is that noise. You turn on a light and you see that freaking funnel thing coming towards you. Oh, forget about it.
Yeah.
Cow goes by your window.
Happen
You're
to
like,
you?
well, no.
But I've seen The Wizard of Oz.
I know.
Right.
I saw that cow.
And that scared me as a kid. That movie
So,
scared
Ed-
me on a lot of levels. I mean, there was the
Yeah, it
flying
did.
monkeys, but
Yeah.
it was that
Oh, they were-
white
those-
tornado.
Yeah, and those guards too. Remember the guards until the guy started talking. Oh, thank you, Dorothy.
Yeah.
yeah,
We never did like that witch. She was a horrible employer.
yeah. And that Oompa Loompas scared the shit out of me.
The little orange
In
people
Willy
with the
Wonka
green
and the
hair?
Chocolate Factory.
Oh, the Oompa Loompas. I
they
hate those
scared
things.
they just
I
What
never
about
watched
that-
that movie.
What about the chicken getting
Really?
its head cut
Never.
off?
With Gene Wilder.
You guys ever notice that in that movie?
Hated
The
it.
chicken getting its head
What?
cut off? In Willy
what?
Wonka, the chicken.
Is that when they're rowing and
Yeah, they're going through the tunnel and you see
imagery,
like
yeah.
a centipede, and then you see a chicken, and then you see a hatchet like cut the
Yeah,
chicken's head
yeah,
off.
that's right. Yeah.
Freaked me out too, man.
like why would
Well,
he
there's
do that?
two
I don't
scenes in that
know.
movie.
Why would poor why would what's his name? Willie do that?
Or,
There's
yeah.
two
You know what
scenes.
Willy Wonka.
There's two
You know-
scenes in that movie that I think are, and if they're both Gene Wilder, is when he's going, and the rowers keep rowing, and he's just like, he's getting all psychotic in that scene. And then at the end, when he's like, and then when he's talking with the kid, it's like, you lose. Like,
Yes, yeah, you drink
Yeah.
fizzy lifting drinks.
good day, sir.
I said good day.
I said
good day.
Yeah,
But a TV movie that's now I was in ninth grade when it came out. So I think ninth grade. Pretty sure it was ninth grade, and it didn't really give me nightmares. But holy shit, how about Salem's Lot, the TV show?
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
79. I'm like I had
Yeah, yeah.
nightmares, but I'm like, yeah,
Never
right.
seen
The
it. Never
kid, Flo,
seen it.
that kid that was in all those movies and
Yeah.
shit. That
Yeah.
same kid with the
Lance
weird
Kerwin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lance,
Lance Kerwin. Yeah.
James at 15 or James at 14, that television show he was in.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
I thought the
But,
TV version of it was pretty I mean, not
Is that
super
Tim
scary, but
You mean
Huh?
the new one?
yeah, Tim Curry, yeah.
Oh, the Tim Curry one. Yeah.
Yeah, the
I
Tim
never
Curry
saw
one.
any of those It films.
When James Mason, back to Salem's Lot, when James Mason is talking to that guy, and he says,
James
when are we going to meet Mr. Barlow? He says, soon. You'll enjoy Mr. Barlow. Mr. Barlow will enjoy you.
Oh,
Does not sound promising.
Oh my God! But the way James Mason says it, he's so, ciao. He's so great in that movie. I love it.
He's scary in everything.
I love James Mason. He's so
That
good.
guy's-
Mason.
That guy's go-to is fear.
And if Ghost of Matecumbe Key hits 200,000, Graham Nolen is going to do an entire stream as James Mason.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he was going to watch Willy Wonka.
While
Yeah, yeah.
watching Willy Wonka. He's
Well,
gonna
that wouldn't be
James
celebrating.
Mason.
That would be torturing.
He's going to read.
Well,
Right,
actually, if
yeah,
you-
but that guarantees to get to 200,000. Murphy's Law. Oh, he
Well,
doesn't
we're
want
at
to do that. So good.
184,595. We're what $405 away from 185.
Yeah, but if you want to see
Okay.
something really frightening, see the Willy Wonka with Johnny Depp.
Oh,
That-
I
my
turned that
God.
one off.
Wait,
too.
I thought that was Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
I've
really
just never been I was never a fan of the Gene Wilder one, even though I've seen it. The Johnny
Gene
Depp one didn't
Wilder-
care about,
Gene Wilder's a
even though I've
genius,
seen
man.
it.
Everything Gene
They're doing a
Wilder's-
prequel, I guess. Now,
Yeah,
Yeah, I heard something like that. Yeah.
yeah.
called
And they're-
Wonka
Don't
or
care.
something.
gender swapping Willy Wonka to
Are
Winona
they?
Wonka.
Are they really?
Probably. I'm kidding. I don't know.
Oh.
They
Yeah.
probably
No.
it wouldn't surprise me.
I think they should combine it and make it an aquatic adventure. Free Willy Wonka.
There you go.
Willy's Wonka's
Very
free.
Free Willy's
That's the
Wonka.
porn version.
That is Edward Cana's hands.
Wonka's
That's the
free.
other
On
one.
Golden Blonde.
Yeah.
Shaving privates, Ryan's privates.
Oh, Lord.
There you go.
2069, A Sex Odyssey.
Oh,
Oh, damn. Look at Aaron getting into it. Aaron, don't bring the
Art
show
of
down.
Ray, dude. Art
So
of
I've
Ray.
heard.
Blazing
So I've
Saddles
heard.
is great. Art of Ray says the only good Wilder flick is Blazing Saddles. Nah, man, all the stuff
Oh,
he
yeah.
did with
Oh, what about
Fire
Young
was great.
Frankenstein?
Young Frankenstein was
Yeah.
great.
Mhm.
He was awesome in The Little Prince as the fox. He's great. He's
What
just
was
great.
Have
the
you ever
one,
seen-
The
have
World's
you ever
Greatest
seen
Lover?
the-
Wasn't he in that? The World's Greatest Lover?
I
Where he
haven't
played
seen
like
it.
a Valentino type character in the 1920s.
I
Yeah.
could see that. I've never seen
Carol
it. But
Kane.
Smarter brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. Yeah. That's pretty funny. On
Golden
Blonde
Blonde.
is
Yeah.
a porn.
I love that on Golden Blonde. I'd
Yeah.
see that. I'd buy that for $1.
Shaving Ryan's privates. That one
Oh,
That's
really
right.
cracks me up.
That's gay.
Well, this Thursday, I'm going to go see Saw 10. I love the Saw movies.
they're up to 10 now?
Yeah, baby.
Oh my
That's
god.
ridiculous. Those are
Yeah,
comedies,
but-
right? They're comedies.
They're comedy.
No, but this is the plot of number 10.
Okay.
And I give them kudos for what they're doing. The guy, God, I'm blanking on the actor's name now.
Carrie
that plays
Elwes.
the-
Carrie
Huh?
Elwes, the guy in the original? The guy
No.
from Princess Bride?
Louise.
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
You're talking about
Anyhow.
the puppet face dude?
Yeah, the guy that's behind all the
What's his
contraptions.
name? Jigsaw face or puzzle head?
Well,
or
it's
some shit?
Jigsaw. It's just
There-
Jigsaw.
Jigsaw,
But
there you
anyhow,
go.
Puzzle face.
the actor that plays Jigsaw, spoiler alert, he passed away from cancer, and not in real life, but in one of the Saw movies.
Okay.
And then for sequels after that, they just had the typical followers take over
Copycat
his
killer
legacy.
style.
Yeah, but
Alright.
for this movie, the plot is it's before he's diagnosed with cancer, or he's diagnosed with cancer, so it goes way back before the first movie. He goes to Mexico for some great cancer treatment.
Yeah.
And the nurse,
Coffee
the doctor, the assistants, all this, they do all this stuff to him. And then and this is all from the trailer, so no spoilers here. And then he goes back to his doctor in the States to get, a follow-up or some shit. The doctor's like, yeah, I don't see a difference at all. You still got it. You're still terminal. So those guys just took his money.
So he goes to Mexico to kill them all? Is that what he does?
That's what he does. He kidnaps them all, and then they all wake up in their different contraptions that they have to get out of and stuff.
Did you? So I never seen
Yeah.
those movies. Do you see the guy? Like, does he look like I don't know, like Eli Wallach or something? Is he like a regular looking guy? But then he puts
It's
a mask.
Tobin Bell. I think
Who?
that's Tobin Bell's the actor's name, I believe.
Tobin Bell. Is that the guy that was on that
Yeah.
70s show?
I mean, you'd recognize him.
I'm gonna look him up.
Hold on, let me see if
Look
I can
him
find
up.
him.
Do it.
Only
I've
there's
seen,
a
dude,
way
I've
to
seen
find out
every
what he
one of
looks
these movies.
Oh, here he is. Oh, okay.
Why?
Okay, so that's the
Why?
guy. Okay. And now
Why?
Yeah, they're garbage, man.
Dude, they're just okay. So it kind of goes back to what I said before: is I'm really into special effects and the
Oh,
behind the scenes stuff. Like if they ever did a documentary on like the practical effects for these movies,
Yeah.
I'd be all over it. Just because
I
I
could
really
see that.
love the practical effects.
That makes sense.
Mm.
So
When Josh was doing his internship at Legacy Special Effects, they were shooting this short film, and they created this alien thing, right? And so they had to do like a test on it, and it basically its tail would come from behind and impale the guy through the back and shoot out through the front, right? And it was all like air triggered. It was like a balloon basically. And so they had Josh wear this whole thing, and then they would shot footage of it just like going, then and would just like instantly inflate this like tail of this creature so it looked like it was ripping out of his chest. And so then they actually shot the film at night, and he was on the blood machine, and the guys were just like, we need more blood. He's just like pumping this thing because the thing would like burst out of the guy's chest. They just wanted it spraying like a fire hose. So Josh is behind the scenes pumping this blood out. And he said it totally changed his perspective on films now. It's like you said, now it's kind of like, oh, I wonder how they did that. Instead of being grossed out by it, you're like, oh, I
Yeah.
wonder how they did that.
Yeah.
So
Well, you
yeah,
know what's
Chris is
so-
right. Shawnee Smith is in it, and Shawnee Smith was in the first one as well, and I believe maybe the third. So this is kind of like a part two. I just looked it up. The first Saw movie goes back to 2004.
That's exactly
So-
right. I saw the first
And this
one.
dude, Tobin Bell, is 81 years old. So they shot this last year. So he was 80 when he shot this, 60 when he shot the first one. And it's going back to when he was supposed to be basically 60, I guess.
Do they
So
not?
they
Do
de-aged
do they show his face during this stuff?
And this new one? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
because they show him go get his treatment in Mexico and all that stuff. So yeah.
You're cured, bro.
So
Yeah.
what's the thing? He's just a lunatic. He never gets caught. I mean,
Hey,
obviously, right?
it worked for Steve McQueen. He went down to Mexico for his
Yeah.
cancer treatment.
And he's
No, he
still
got-
alive.
How'd that
I'm
work
trying to
out?
remember.
He was getting those
I've
coffee enemas.
basically seen these movies once, each one just once. So
That's all you need.
he did eventually get caught, but then, like I said, he ended up dying and stuff anyhow. But then his legacy just kind of continued. So
You know what they're looking at for cancer treatment now? They're find to be very optimistic is ivermectin. How about that?
Interesting.
Oh,
oh, way to get my channel blocked. Thanks, Aaron.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
Yeah, you and Joe.
Oh no, but I
Rogan.
heard that they put I thought I heard today that they put hydroxychloroquine back on as
Yeah,
something you can take.
yeah, they did.
well,
They did?
now that
Okay.
the lies are all been exposed, they have to admit that. Oh yeah,
Did you guys see Gavin Newsom? It was on the. I think it was
I
on
can't
Fox News or
stand
something,
that
talking
guy.
about how he's concerned that his son listens to Joe
Yes!
Rogan
oh yeah, yeah.
and
And Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson, part of these mini cults.
Oh,
Yes.
jeez.
Holy shit! His dad's like, so you can see
Jordan
his son when
Peterson
he's
is a
like,
genius.
Dad, everything you
Yeah.
say, you're full of shit.
Well, one of the
Yeah.
last things I did before my wife and I, even my daughter, signed it before we left California, is we signed that petition to get rid of Gavin Newsom. Yeah.
Nice.
He's going to debate DeSantis next month on Fox
Well,
News.
Yep.
They're going to have a
I
date.
hope DeSantis
Oh,
destroys
he'll
him.
destroy
Hey,
him.
tomorrow
God.
night's the Republican debate.
Isn't
Yep.
it tonight?
Tomorrow.
No, it's
Tomorrow?
tomorrow.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But Trumpy's
Yeah.
not going to be there, I hear.
No.
Well, there's
No.
no
Why
reason
go?
to.
No.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to go.
There
I
is
Yeah,
know,
there's
but I
no
just
reason.
want to see the spectacle.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
You want to see the bloodbath, is what you want.
Yeah, I want to see those guys, just crying for mommy the way that Jeb Bush did, and
Oh,
Marco Rubio,
Man,
after the
Oh, yeah.
beatdown they were given.
and then
he
and then our friends
exposed
on the
those
left,
guys.
You know what Rubio goes, you ever see his hands? Trump's got really small hands.
Oh yeah.
Trump's like, and then of course now all your left wing friends like, okay, tiny hands, like tiny hands. It's little.
You know what won it for him is what was
desperation.
it when he was debating Hillary Clinton, and he said if I was president, you'd be behind bars or
You'd be in
whatever it
jail.
was.
He said,
Right.
You'd be in jail, and I was like, oh fuck, that's
Yeah, that
good.
was crazy.
I
You know
was
how
like,
tall his son is now?
How
18 feet.
6'8".
Holy crap!
Holy cow.
Whose son? Trump's?
Yeah.
Yeah, Barron is 6'8".
Holy
Wow.
cow.
Grease. Too bad he wasn't a basketball player. What a waste of height.
Yeah.
What a
Well,
waste
he's
of
obviously a criminal, Aaron. You know that. So
time. Yeah.
Well,
Right.
wait a minute. What do you mean a waste of height, Aaron? He'll always be able to put the star on the Christmas tree like the Bumble.
yeah,
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
exactly.
No, it always drive me crazy. I would meet guys that are like 6'7". I mean, I've met guys that are 7 foot tall, and I'm like, "Oh, you play basketball?" No. And I'm
Dude,
like,
that pisses me.
"What?"
It's wasted potential.
God,
It is.
Yep.
I meet guys that are
Right?
6 feet tall. I meet guys that are 5'10", and if they suck at sports, and it pisses me off. I get so pissed off. I hit the wall.
Why?
What?
Oh God.
Why do
I
you
think if I
care?
was 5'10", I'd be a fucking senator right now. To be honest.
Oh, that's why. It's you're like
never
if I
Dan,
had what
oh,
you
that's
had.
why.
I
The theme of
see.
the show is what scares me, not what bothers me.
That's right.
What
That's
you know
next
what scares
time.
me?
That's
You know what I'll
next
tell you
week.
what scares me
Always
is
me.
Biden getting another term.
Oh,
That's
God,
what
yeah.
scares me.
No,
That's-
because
Oh, come on.
you'd be having Kamala Harris as the president. That's what.
He's not running. Get out of here.
Yeah, what's that
Oh,
saying?
yeah.
Like when you were a kid and you'd say, you haven't even finished your plate yet. Like everybody's talking about Biden, like, oh, another 4 years. He's gonna be lucky if he gets through this term.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's
like-
why they do it. That's why Gavin Newsom is going
Yep.
to debate
DeSantis.
Because they have no hope whatsoever with Harris at all. No one's going to vote for him. So they're hoping that he does great against DeSantis, and then Biden, for some medical emergency, something like that, he's no longer to run. Kamala feels that her duties are better off here, and then they're going to make him the anointed one.
Well, if you want to see, you want to see Newsom exposed. There's an Adam Carolla, like it was years ago, and he had that buffoon on his show. And I'll tell you, he exposes every weakness that guy has on that show in that interview. And it's perfect. And it's funny because, like, I didn't even know who Gavin Newsom was until that interview. And then somehow years later, you know, he's like this prominent guy. And then you realize he's kind of from this royalty, right? Because isn't Nancy Pelosi his aunt? And like, there's all kinds of like
there's some
relatives,
relation.
political relatives and stuff. And you just realize that he was just kind of not grandfathered in, but I don't know what they call like
nepotism.
Nepotism. Yeah.
Oh, but
he reminds me of Patrick Bateman.
Fool, though. He's such a fool. There's no way he can win a debate with DeSantis.
No, there's no way.
He reminds me of Christian Bale's character in American Psycho.
Well, you know, one thing, Newsom is a Hollywood personality. Yeah. One of the problems with DeSantis is he's a terrible speaker. He's boring. I like what he has to say, but he's very uptight when he's on that podium.
Is this like a Nixon Kennedy sort of thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
He's a plain Jane personality. He just wants to get the job done.
I don't mind him speaking at all. It doesn't bother me. I don't see the
but you're merit based. You're merit based, and you listen to what he's saying. But not everybody's like that. Some people are
a lot of
like
people are won over by the personality.
The personality. Like I agree with you, Billy. I listen to DeSantis talk, and I'm like, this is a straight shooter, man. This guy's on it.
I like it.
You know, and I like it.
What you got to hope is that DeSantis will just destroy him with facts. You know, pretty much like what Trump did when whoever he talked to. You know, it's just like he just told it like it was, and it's like you don't have to be entertaining if you're destroying the other person.
Yeah, but Newsom is such a weasel. He'll just he can weasel out of it without answering anything. He's the perfect politician. You know, he doesn't deal with any facts or anything that's being said.
People. All feelings. Remember when Biden was out of the country and Newsom goes to Washington? He was practically measuring the drapes.
Remember, he came walking out of the West Wing, out of the White House. Like, how's this look, guys?
With the coat over his shoulder.
How's it look, guys? What do you think? Like
look at me, I'm JFK. You know, here, look at me. I'm walking in. This is my next home. I'm going to measure for the position of the drapes.
All DeSantis has to say is that, you know, two things. One, that people are fleeing your state in such alarming numbers that you have just proposed that they have to pay taxes for the next 8 years still to the state. And U-Haul is not allowing you to rent a U-Haul if you're leaving the state because no one brings them back.
We barely got out.
We
barely got out.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And also, I think in Northern California, they're doing an exit tax. So if you sell your home, and you move out of state, there's an exit tax.
When did they do this? Because my dad literally just moved here January of this year.
Did he sell his house?
Yes.
Before he moved?
Yeah.
Well, that I saw a whole show on what is it called, California Insider or something like that, and they were talking about it, and they said I don't think they said it proposed. I think they said it was enacted.
How can you do that? I mean, it's unconstitutional.
It might be. Look at them. If you own all branches of the government in that state, they can do whatever the hell they want.
Yep.
The thing is, you can do any.
What our bitch governor just did with ammunition. Now
still live?
A 28 to 48 hour waiting period in New York State if you buy ammunition. So you have to do a background check on you, and they charge you almost $10 for that.
You can't walk into a store and walk out that same day with a box of ammo.
Not in New York now. She signed an executive order.
Yeah, and then Newsom's talking about a new tax on ammo and guns, right? Like an additional 15%.
Yeah, because
the thing is, like you guys were talking, like how could he
We're
do this?
afraid
This
of
is-
this, guys.
this is unconstitutional. The thing is, you can do anything you want. It's up to the person that doesn't like it to push back. So these guys can do anything they want. It's up to whoever has a problem with it to push back. And that's where we're at right now in society is politicians, all these people are just overextending their boundaries constantly. And it's just up for somebody to push back. And if nobody pushes back, then guess what?
Right.
You know, after so many years, after so many months, it just becomes business as usual. And then that's how they do things. So there's just no pushback.
Well, it's like, what state was it that dipshit governor was like, we're going to suspend the Second Amendment or whatever?
What?
Nevada.
Get out.
It was Nevada, right? Yeah. And
here.
she was pulling the Biden tactic of basically saying, yeah, I'm going to sign it. And if they want to fight it, they can take it up to the courts. You know, like he did with the student loan stuff. He knew it was unconstitutional, but he's like, well, I'm just going to do it. And then it can go up to the courts.
Yeah, well, somebody put up a fight and she backed down.
They're saying it's New Mexico.
Oh, I'm sorry.
New
Yeah, you're right.
Mexico.
Oh, New Mexico.
It wasn't Nevada. It was New Mexico.
Close enough.
Okay.
Yeah. Starts with an N.
Wow.
Well, Sean Ferris.
Well, guys, there you go. We
That's
started with
90.
scaring stuff and we ended with the most horrific stuff there is. These idiots in politics right
Government.
now.
That's what scares me is big
right.
government.
Yeah.
So, Steve, we wrapped it back
Overreaching
around,
government.
but we've been going for 2 hours. Let's take it around the horn and do a little promo. Graham.
Well, by now everybody knows Ghost of Matecumbe Key is still up for a short period of time, but I am gearing up for the 31 Days of Monsters show on my YouTube channel, which will begin August 1st, and will go every
October
single morning.
1st.
I'm sorry, October 1st, yes. And we'll go every morning at 8 o'clock, except for Saturday, it'll be 9. And Sunday, it is a roaming show. So, but 31 days of shows, we're going to be talking about monster movies. Some of them are good, some of them are not so good, and we'll watch them together and we'll talk about them. So that's a lot of fun. Please tune in for that. And thank you, everybody that has backed my books. And have a great night.
There you go. Let me grab this real quick. Evil One for $2. Thank you. Nothing is more scary than politics. Thanks, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, we're even on a scary note.
That's right.
Yes.
Art, your turn.
Yes. Well, I want to ask you a question, Andrew. How close are you to that 100K so we can get that extra bonus story?
Yeah.
Well, we totaling both campaigns, it's around 91,700 and change, so almost 92. Bud Root is working on the fourth page now. He likes taking pictures of things to send me, so he sent me he texted me the layout for the last page.
He's so
Nice.
good.
So
He's so good.
he's basically doing a nice ending it on a splash page.
Well,
So
you
guys,
Yeah,
there you go.
guys. Well, I was going to give you the endorsement here, Andy, so you don't have to talk yourself up. I'll do it for you. It is a beautiful looking book. Conan the Barbarian is a puss compared to Kor-Drath. This book looks amazing. It's some of the best stuff I've seen Andy do. And you guys want to get that story, so let's get on it. Let's get Andy to 100K. And Black and White is still in demand. And I am doing a couple pickups. There's a couple figures that I am cleaning up right now, but it's done. The main story is done. I have the stretch goal 4-page bonus that I'm working on now. But that's not going to take too long. We're 13 pages away from getting it finished with the coloring. He came in a little late, but he's making up for time. And next week on the professionals, I want to announce this because I think it's fun, and I haven't told you guys yet. But we're gonna do heroic transportation. So we're gonna do our favorite modes of transportation for heroes. So I was thinking how cool this is. Like, there's a Silver Surfer, right? There's a surfboard. Thor uses a hammer. You know, it's not just like the Batmobile. You know, there's all kinds of shit that are modes of transportation. So
Thanos' helicopter.
That's it. I was waiting.
Really.
Well,
you know what?
You never saw the Thanos copter?
buggy.
Yes, that's the one I was thinking. Yeah, it's that stupid dune buggy.
Spider-Man.
Ross Andrew hooked that up.
He hooked
Yeah.
it up. But they actually, that was a toy and everything. They really tried to
I had
get
it.
that
I had it.
vehicle
I had
going.
the helicopter and the dune buggy. I was a
Yeah.
Spidey junkie, bro.
But it'll be a lot of fun, you guys. So next week on RT Bear's YouTube channel, if you guys haven't subscribed, come by, subscribe. I haven't done any shows in a while because I'm trying to finish up the book, but I will be back ASAP. And you guys, I'll be so up your butts. You guys will be sick of me.
Booty hole.
I'll be everywhere.
Anus. And then what's the next
Anus.
campaign, Art, after that? After you finish this, when you're done with Black and White, you get it out. What's next?
I got a Chrono Mechanics story that's ready to go. And then I do have the layout for the next Black and White story. So the next Black and White story is going to be phenomenal. And so this one we focused on Whitney's kind of origin story. The next story arc is going to kind of get into Reed Blackett, aka Black's backstory. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for asking.
I'd buy that for $1. That's right.
Black and White 3, they merge and become gray.
Black and white equals gray. In a world where law and order is often blurred to gray, justice can only be black and white.
Black and White.
Yes.
Billy Tucci.
I wanted to say the one thing that really scares me, though, and I wanted to save this to the end, but girls.
Yeah.
Girls are a little scary, aren't
But
they?
you are married to a woman, so you're fine.
Yeah, before that, I was afraid of girls.
Oh.
You won't believe
I
that.
love
A
those
little
days
Paul
of comics,
Williams out
and you guys, Aaron Lopresti will attest to it. Those days of comics when we were, in the 90s, when we were superstars, and you had, I remember one time I had this girl, a fangirl, banging on my bedroom door for at least a half hour before I let her out. Oh,
Jesus. Ben and Jerry's. That's a Ben and Jerry's right there.
anywho, she Senryaku Omnibus. Thank you all for backing it. The book, we got a notification from our printer that it will be shipped to us. Delivery date is October 27th. I've asked if can you move that up to like the 15th or something, but probably not. And we are now 26 backers away from 1,000 on Indiegogo. And with our Indiegogo and Kickstarter returns, we are over $200,000. And thank you all. We love you guys. We're so appreciative of you guys. And we have our looking forward to the launching She Gatecrasher in November.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Nice. Dan Fraga.
Three things. Stay staged out. Fragtober begins Sunday with a warm up. We'll probably just be doing Fridays and Saturdays, but Sunday we will do a little launch for Fragtober. For Black Flag, I want to thank everybody that's backed the book. I'm not going to ask anybody to back because everybody that has, and you're watching me work on it. But what I would like to share, I know for some people Kickstarters are not popular, but here's the thing. My friend Sean Chen, he and I worked on Wolverine together.
Yeah.
I got big love for this guy. He didn't even ask me to do this. I'm doing this because I love Sean Chen.
He's a great guy.
Amazing. He's fucking rad, dude. He's a good dude.
Dude, we worked together at Valiant back in the day.
Yeah,
So.
he does his thing. And if you guys like quality stuff and enjoyed his work on Wolverine or have never even heard of Sean Chen before, go check out his Wolverine issues. I was just the fill-in artist during his run. Really good guy. Evermind, a sci-fi saga by Daniel Wu and Sean Chen. This is his very first creator-owned, his first all-time jumping into what we're doing. Show him some love if you get a chance. Kickstarter, Evermind, a sci-fi saga.
Yes, Sean Chen, the Iron Man artist. Yes,
I was going to say
correct.
his Iron Man was exceptional.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he's such a quiet, nice guy as well.
I talked to him on Instagram, and I was like, "Dude, this is so cool that you're doing this."
That's where I saw the campaign as well. Yeah,
I'm really excited about the fact that he's doing it. So
what we are doing is the
Aaron.
future. It is the future.
Is the future. Speaking of the future, I just got the hard copy proof.
Woo!
Nice printer. So I'm going to check that, make sure everything's okay, and then we should be having the books in my hand by
so hard
tell me the third week of October or the last week of October, something like that. And also the early sign up for Kit Carter Planet Doom graphic novel is open right now. So get in there and sign up. If you do, you'll get a exclusive David Williams trading card that you'll only be able to get for free if you sign up early. And then when you order, you get the card free. So
that's a Brohawk card for free, yo, just by signing up.
And the link is in the description below. Yes. So there you go. And like I said, Kor-Drath, The Reckoning, guys, we're looking to march to 100,000. Once we get there, we will unlock the 4-page Bud Root story in the house. Page 1. Page 2 and 3. Page 2 and 3.
Oh, look at that.
Progress colors by Dan. This isn't finished yet. And then, like I said, the layout for page 4. Once Bud gets me the final inks for 4, I'm going to put all the originals up for sale as a batch. So you can only buy all 4 pages of the original art. I'm not going to part it out since it's only 4 pages.
Do they come with little laminate covers, like top loaders?
Sleeves?
Yeah, because you might get them wet.
Exactly. I hear you. So links are in the description below for everybody. I updated for Aaron's Kit Carter, so that's down there. So all the links are accurate. And there you go. Graham, do you want to share a screen? Because I see it.
I thought I did share it.
I know. Do you want me to pull that up?
Oh, sure. We were talking about Thanos' helicopter. People don't believe it, but it was.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He let you know that it was his, didn't he?
And I love how he went and actually had it written on it after he had to go to some place and say, hey, I need a vinyl sticker on here that says Thanos.
Dude, you don't want that thing stolen.
Dude, that looks like a spaghetti spoon, turned sideways.
Wait a minute, is that a toy down at the bottom there?
It looks like it.
Did they actually make a toy of this?
That's a Lego.
That's Lego.
My God,
yeah, it looks like Lego made it.
That's incredible.
That is weird.
Yeah. Kind of hot.
It's going to be a fun show. It's going to be a fun show next week.
And this guy beat the Hulk? Give me a break.
Right?
Hey, maybe a taste in helicopters.
Look at this. Drat. He doesn't seem too formidable, guys.
I said drat to my child when they wouldn't eat their breakfast.
What year did Thanos come out?
I say double drat.
Like what year?
Thanos 73, maybe.
Yeah,
Aaron would know, but he's not here.
Where'd Aaron go?
I'm going 73.
I think 73 is right.
I'm going to look him up.
Like
I'm looking him up.
Do it.
I'm doing it. The chat's probably faster than me, though.
That's a deep dive for Lego,
73, man. February 73. He is.
Look at that.
He's 4 months older than me.
There you go.
You old fuck.
I was 12.
Yeah. Well, Aaron's not going to be. Oh, he's back for the sign off. Okay, everybody. We're just doing a goodbye. So see you next week. Like, subscribe, and share Art's channel next week. Bye.